All right, welcome on in to another episode of DCU Daily and Also Curious. We have a lot for you guys today, especially, I still got that popcorn stuck in my teeth feeling. That must mean that it is Supergirl Day. I went to see the movie. I still have my popcorn bucket. I probably have a few other things I'll get into later. And we're going to review the movie. We're going to get into it. Some of you guys already saw it. If you haven't seen it, we'll try to stay away from the spoilers, but we'll see. Maybe if you do a spoiler section, we'll demark that. But of course, we also have to talk about Elektra is back in Daredevil Born Again, because of course, season 3 is looking more and more like the Defenders season. So, they're bringing everybody back. Everybody's coming back. Maybe, they'll bring back Foggy from the dead again. Don't quote me on that. That's complete speculation, but we'll get into that. And of course, we have to talk about the other big things going on. There's Annecy going on right now, so more animation news from there's a Ghostbusters thing on Netflix we'll talk about. We also have to get into Cine Europe, which is like the European version of CinemaCon. So they showed the first 18 minutes of Spider-Man Brand New Day there, as well as Resident Evil, the new one from Zach Krieger. So we'll get into all of those things. Of course, we have other DC quick hits. Did you know that Millie Alcock was gonna get a job at a bakery before she got the Supergirl role? That blew my mind. I hope it blew yours too. So with that, let's get to Ryan Gosling so he can blow our minds, because of course he is Kenough.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number 2.
All right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
No, I did not put on the wrong intro. I just like a double intro sometimes, like you gotta double fist that intro and get into the thick of it. That won't be the first time you'll be hearing that kind of language tonight's show. But with me, of course, to do the Supergirl review, because that's where we're gonna start things off. We're gonna talk about the other news later. We're gonna do the DC stuff first, because you guys are here to talk about Supergirl. So with me, of course, I've got Liz and John. I'll start with you, Liz. How are you doing?
I'm well. How is everybody this fine evening? Hey, guys.
And on that note, John, how are you doing?
Taking off my glasses because I have a pounding headache right now. I had a headache all day. I finished the comic book today, so, I have a headache. But I do have this. Wanted to put it on display for everyone here. This is my popcorn. Behold! My stuff. Behold, my popcorn bucket. My parents were with me. I wanted to get one, but I knew they would get mad. My dad's like, "It's fine. You can have it. It's not too big, but you're paying for it." I'm like, "Okay," and then I ended up not paying for it. So it's just like, okay, sure.
Thanks, Dad.
But I did use my rewards on it, so I pretty much paid the whole thing off anyway. I had like 25 bucks.
You definitely got points for that for sure. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this thing have a battery. Like, this thing is like the fire is gonna run out of power. I should. You know what? We'll leave it on for now.
No, I think there's a switch on the bottom.
No, there is. No, there is. It's about. I was just like, should I keep it on? Because like we're doing. Anyway, speaking of which, here you go.
Show everyone your sexual merch that you've got there, Dan. Your suggestive merch.
You know, once you take the Lobo, once you take Lobo off of it, which by the way, there's Lobo. Hello. Imagine this coming at you, like. Yeah,
and you eat popcorn out of the crotch area.
Popcorn out of it. You know, it fires fire out of its ass.
And we
sideways it's a dildo, or it can be a rock, depending on how you want to use it.
It also kind of looks like the Firefly ship a little bit too, but that definitely looks like a butt.
There's the fire. It also does look like a butt. It does look like a
That's
little bit.
That's not
like
the
Donkey
only
Duck.
gross thing that we've gotten from the Supergirl merchandise. Show the other thing, Dan.
We're not done.
Show and tell.
We stay on Bulge Watch on this show. We stay on Bulge Watch. Do it from the right angle. No, that's not it.
It's for the dramatics.
There it is.
There it is.
We got.
Yeah. So nice. I'll be honest, like the color looks a little more realistic. Well, again, it's all relative because different strokes for different folks. I will say the color
stroking.
The color matches the jacket in the movie a lot better in real IRL than it does on camera. It's just the camera just doesn't do it justice, But here's Lobo. There's more Lobo for you. The hairline is kind of receding on this Lobo more than the other
that's
Lobo.
A little questionable.
This Lobo has a more aggressive hairline. See that versus this? Compare the two. Yeah.
It looks like they fucked up the hairline a little bit.
It's just a little.
Just a little bit.
Double the Lobo, double the fun.
It's quite a girthy cup. You're gonna need both hands.
It surely is. Oh yeah, that's a double fister if I ever saw
it. I have decent sized hands, and you gotta like really hold on to this.
Yeah,
like,
you really should hold on.
And then this would pair well with the Dunussi. So,
Dad needs two hands. Well,
Thank you, Enterprising. Thank you
I'm
for
sure Lobo
encouraging
is packing.
filth.
I'm sure Lobo is packing. Damn. All right, Liz, you had a lady boner for John Bernthal. Like, what are you telling us?
I stay lady boned.
There you go. Well, yeah, it's
we're not doing spoilers right now. We might get into it like a tiny bit, but like for the most part, we're gonna have a no spoiler review.
We're trying to be respectful. Not everybody was able to get to the fan screening tonight.
See, figured out, you know what I mean. I was hinting at that earlier, the double fisting part. Anyway, hello to Monique. She was first in the chat.
Yeah, girl.
Happy Wednesday to you. Steak and cola, baked beans in the house. Steak and cola. Steak is better than what I had, so give you credit there. Probably better than everything that we had. I was having popcorn. Oh, got a whiff of that just now. Enterprising. We'll see it Friday. This sucks at the. We'll get into that, man. Like, you got to cheer up a little bit. We'll talk about it. D-Cole is here. Enterprise. Yeah. Oh, we got to talk to Lanterns as well.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yep. Eugene saw the movie. All right, Eugene. So let us know what you think. Of course, Figure Drawing is here. You guys chatting about the movie. Who else did we miss? Oh, Hosea's here. Hello, Hosea. Dan and John saw Supergirl 6.8. Loses points for lack of creativity. Different planets. Soundtrack. Otherwise, it was fine. Okay. 6.8. That's a very specific number. Appreciate that. What else? Oh, yeah. Victory Mind, DCU, alive. You'll survive. Hey, nice. Justin Geeky, guys. Seeing Supergirl in 9 hours. Yes, indeed. May Rao help you and help your soul, and you shall be okay. It will be fine.
I will say, Geeky Guy, it is so much better than the fucking comic. So
and John just finished the comic, so we'll get your opinion on that too.
Because I had 4 issues I had to get through today because I didn't pace myself, and now I've had a pounding headache all day.
You procrastinated on the comic.
So, and then Tom King made me pay. It was funny because like most of the comic was like, okay, this is just boring crap. And then the last issue was just shit the bed so badly. I'm like, wow, that's bad. Anyway, we won't get into that. We're talking about good Supergirl stuff.
Yes.
Well,
also Movie Spud in the chat. Hello, Movie Spud evening all. Yeah, these are new glasses. I've had them on since yesterday, but thank you for noticing and I appreciate that very much.
Very
Hello.
nice, Dan. Sorry I didn't
Thank
notice.
You.
Very nice.
Oh, it's all good. It's tough. I don't mind. I'm not one of those like, oh my god, guys, what is different about me today? Can't you tell? Like, it's fine.
Guys, I think we found new glasses here.
That's how it should have done it. Hunter Riggy's here. What are your thoughts on people, critics, Snyder Bros bashing Supergirl? Well, the Snyder Bros can reach up their butthole and
When
pull
have we
out
ever given a shit what
the stick
Snyder
up their
Bros
ass.
have to say?
They'll be fine. The movie itself, we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about the box office as well, whether it will or will not bomb. Don't worry, it's not all bad news. It's also, you know, it's not like good news, but we'll get into it. Johnny Dome is here. Hello, Johnny. For some reason, people now care about critics. Well, you know, they always do. It's always broad. Like, we'll get into that. Don't you worry. And then, of course, Jalen is here. And Jalen is incredibly happy that Lizz is here with true justice and whatever on her side. So, whatever. Exactly.
It's on the movie poster. Hey.
Yep. Is that the popcorn bucket for ants? What are you talking about? Oh, this one? Oh, yes. Yeah, this one. It fits like 20 kernels of popcorn, unless you have like incredibly tiny, maybe like the non-GMO popcorn, smaller, you know, might fit in more of it. But you can't fit this in there. That's why they give you the extra bucket, which is a shit ton of popcorn, and you're never gonna. I can never get through that stuff. Oh yeah, the fleshlight. Hello, Arcade. Thank you. Yeah, we already got through that. And Enterprising, Lord help. Thank you for the super chat. I'm just trying to catch up here before we get going. Anybody else? Anybody? Oh, we got Troy the Great. Did y'all see it? Yeah, we did see it. Hell yeah, we saw it. That's why we're gonna talk about it. Who else? But thank you for being in the chat. Good or bad? 1 second. It's more complicated than just that. We live in a colorful world, not a black and white. Oh, hello, Steven. Hello, Steven. Saying, I guess Supergirl is mixed from the reactions. I guess so. We'll get into that. Tom King comic. Okay. Justin, you guys Supergirl popcorn buckets rated F for foreskin. I would not have thought rated F for foreskin, but that is actually very creative, and I could not resist. I went there to get it after the movie because I was like trying to rush into the movie before and I still had to sit through 10 minutes of trailers, but that's fine. 5 minutes of it was Tom Cruise, so I'll take it.
Dude, that was so good. That's one of the best things I've ever seen. That makes me so happy.
He's doing his like
saw the film
Les
just for
Grossman
that
crossover kind of thing. It's
so
fun.
good. That was awesome.
And I love the Paramount, you know, Warner Brothers synergy there. They got all the Paramount movies, all the Warner Brothers movies, because by the time Digger comes out, there will probably be one company.
I know I didn't need to, but I was still, you know, I still gotta rate the comic. Like, I'm curious.
Exactly.
I wanted to compare and contrast. Plus, another reason to hate Tom King, always a good thing.
Sign John up.
And hello to Sanju as well. It is Supergirl Day. You know what? A lot of you guys are watching from, you know, outside of the United States. It's already well into Thursday for you, so you're probably going to be going to see Supergirl in the next few hours, like Just Some Geeky Guy, and I know Hosea also as well, probably. So we'll see what you guys think when you see it. So that's why when we get to the spoiler part of the review, we will give you guys a heads up, and you know, we'll try to keep that short. But Just Some Geeky Guy is asking for your, I guess, 1 out of 10 rating on King's novel, John.
He's saying the movie versus the novel. Yeah,
we'll get to that, and we'll let John do his talking. Okay, but without further ado, let's get into the talk. The talk of the town right now is Supergirl. It is a big movie this weekend, although based on the projections, it may not be the biggest movie at the box office, but it is the big new release. Not Jackass, Supergirl. Even though Jackass is also out there, if you guys care to see.
We're not doing a spoiler review
today,
today, Enterprising. It's going to be spoiler free. So don't you worry, we're not spoiling it.
So, with that said, let's dive into it, shall we? Supergirl, the big DCU movie of the summer. It's coming out pretty much almost in exactly a year after Superman. Just a little under a year, a few weeks less, but there is plenty of Superman in the movie. In fact, like when you see the credits at the front of the film, they put down David Cornsweet and Jason Momoa. And, you know, not like guest starring, they're pretty much like with David Cornsweet and Jason Momoa, as in they're basically like two characters with a significant role to play. So having said that, I'm going to give my initial thoughts. Let's do your initial thoughts. We'll go through one by one, and then we can dive into like the details and like you can dissect the movie. We'll talk about some maybe like Easter eggs, if you will, do a couple of, you know, breakdowns of scenes and elements we liked or did not like. So I'll go first. I thought it was a fun movie. It actually kind of zipped by me a little too quickly, you know, like hello CC Black. And we'll talk about the box office later. But like what I was saying is, the movie is what, like an hour 50 all in all. But,
yeah.
But like by the time it hits credits, it's like an hour 40, right? And so you usually, when you start a movie, it takes you like 5-10 minutes to kind of like, settle into it, in the sense that, you're trying to pick, they do a lot of stuff in the beginning to like set things up, like you find out where Supergirl's starting. I mean, a lot of this stuff in the trailers is pretty much from the first 15 minutes of the movie, let's be honest. They don't give away too much from they do show you stuff in the trailers that is in the latter parts of the film, but like a lot of this is in the early big parts, where clearly Clark is trying to, get Supergirl, or like get Kara to maybe, embrace Earth a little more, so that she's not always trying to, drink herself into being numb about everything, which becomes a theme throughout the film. So I do think, though, like the movie hour 50, like I felt like this could have used an extra 20 minutes, because there were definitely sequences, like we know in the trailer they show us how Ruthie's parents get killed, because you see that like in one of the trailers they show you, like, Krem goes to their place and does stuff, and clearly she's the only one left alive. There was one thing, that significant thing that happens in that whole sequence that's not shown in the trailers, which I thought was something that they, left out, probably on purpose. Not sure it has much of an effect on the rest of the movie, but I thought that like that sequence, they should have like stayed on it longer, really make us hate Krem, kind of like, Tarantino at the beginning of Inglourious
Bastards, which is
like,
what I immediately thought of.
I was like, that whole sequence in Inglourious Bastards just, it lets you sit in the dread, and I felt like they didn't give it enough time to do it in this sequence, with like early on with Ruthie's parents and her family. But then later on, I think the movie's pacing is pretty good. Like I said, while the movie, like a lot of reviews said this too, the movie works really well when it's in the more character moments, like talk where you're trying to, learn more, or you are learning more through Supergirl and Kara, like her experience. I thought most of the stuff on Krypton was really, really good. That one funeral scene that they show in the trailer, my theory was correct about who the funeral was for. Where I'm not gonna go into it, but like I thought overall the movie was a lot of fun. The Superman parts, the Lobo parts were fun. Lobo had a bigger role than I thought it would have. Like I thought it would just be a cameo for a couple of scenes. No, Lobo was in the movie. Like Lobo was there. I mean, I think I clocked it, like the first time Lobo comes in is around 35 minutes into the film. So he's not there right away. But then from then on, he's sort of interspliced throughout the rest of the film. So I thought that was fun. Again, without giving away any of the specifics of the story mechanics, I thought like Kara's journey, the emotional journey, was really like well done, but that's also an area where I felt like we needed like an extra, maybe either extending a couple of the sequences, or maybe adding another scene or two, whether it's in the flashbacks or what's going on in the present day, because I see what they were going for and it still works, but it's like it, and I don't know, like I'll pitch, I'll kind of let you guys take over in a second, but like Lizz, you remember watching probably some of the DCEU films, especially like, like BVS was like, they took 30 minutes out of that movie pretty late in the game, and it was kind of hard to follow in theaters. I don't know if you saw the extended version. Some people, it's still too convoluted, but like I was thinking to myself, like this movie, if they had an extra 15-20 minutes, could have really sung in some of those moments where they needed to sort of like hold on the character moments a bit more, because the action sequences were great and like the needle drops were fun. Like overall, I would give it a good 7.5 out of 10. I was thinking about 8, but it's like it just like I felt like the movie went by too quickly. Maybe on the second watch I'll have an easier time with it because I know what to expect. But I mean, I think overall it was a fun movie, is what John and I were talking about before. But Lizz, how did you take it? Especially like the whole pacing thing. Did you feel like this movie could have used a little more screen time?
Yeah, and I appreciate you giving it that rating, because I was a little nervous. We're all texting each other, getting out of our respective theaters, and you're both talking about how you enjoyed it, and I was like, "Eesh." I'm like, okay, well, let's see. I'm a couple decades older. I'm female. Maybe it's just it's a generational thing. We're just looking for different things in films. You guys are DC guys. I'm not a DC person. Yes, it needed more. I would say Superman was, and I think maybe this is also my problem too, is I'm doing what a lot of audiences are doing, is that we're comparing it to Superman. Superman had more substance as just it was a beefier, meatier film. It was a blockbuster. Whereas this one, yes, they did really well with her backstory, her character development. But at the end of the day, for me, I was like, okay, this is a superhero movie with a plot all about a dog, essentially. Um, which you hear that and you think, oh, it's a family friendly movie, just like we thought Superman was. Then there were 5 shits in there. The word whore was used. The word bitch was used.
I did clock that
was
too early in the movie.
I was just a little surprised at those kinds of decisions. I was like, okay, I get it. Like I also had a really hard time in this one too, not comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like somebody was saying, like, why did they use the soundtrack the way they use it? If she's on different planets, if she can speak different languages, or at least understand different languages, if she didn't originally come to Earth with the ability to speak English. Even some of the ships, the stylizing of the ships, very reminiscent of a lot of the ships from Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was kind of having a weird time being able to disconnect this film from other things that James has put out. I also feel like this was supposed to be Supergirl's movie, right? Millie was in it as much as Lobo was in it, and that's not a whole lot. If she's supposed to be the head of the film, she's supposed to be the anchor, it's supposed to be surrounded by her story. I was kind of disappointed by, and we talked about this prior as well, the fact that, okay, they keep showing David in the trailers, they keep showing Jason in the trailers. What does that say about how much faith they have in it being a purely Supergirl movie? And they did it to themselves, as far as I'm concerned. They put David and Jason and made them kind of main characters alongside Millie, which also bothered me. I would have liked to see her more. I would have liked to see her doing more things. The first act, I thought the pacing was awful. It was sluggish getting through the first act. The third act obviously kept it moving. That's where all the action was. That's where the climax was. I liked some of the action scenes more than others. Again, the one action scene I liked the most, you didn't see her because she was in a cloud of dust. So that was also kind of disappointing, because I was like, this looks great. Would be cool if I actually saw her character physically doing these things, because it was a great shot. It was, but again, very similar to the scene on the beach that we see in Superman. Very similar to things that we've seen in other James Gunn films, such as Guardians. So it wasn't the movie I was hoping for. As you all know, I was really, really excited for this one. I was really looking forward to it. I'm always excited to see a female-driven superhero film. We don't get those. They're very few and far between. And I don't know anything about Supergirl, so I was excited to kind of learn and get into her world. It just didn't hit the mark for me. I would still give it a 7. It was entertaining. Again, I didn't laugh as much as I had hoped that I would. I laughed more in Superman, again, comparing it back to that film. But yeah, I would have liked a little more at the end of the day. I love, I'm sorry, I just want to get his name. Matthias. I love Matthias, who played this bad guy right here. Yep, I love him. You don't even realize that it is him. So that's always great when they do such a good job with the hair and makeup and the way he kind of carried himself throughout the film.
Very Mad Max, I've heard.
I love Jason as Lobo. I'm not familiar with Lobo, so I don't know whether or not he was true to the character or not, but I thought he was great. His portrayal was great. But I just, it's one of those, maybe I'll try and see it one more time and hope that I feel differently, but I genuinely don't have an interest in seeing it again. A friend of mine who's not a big fan of superhero movies, he kind of reluctantly saw Superman. He's like, should I see this? And I told him, I said, for you, knowing you, no, you can stream this one. So I'll give it a 7, but I wish I could. I really, really wanted to score it higher, unfortunately. So that's where I'm coming from.
All right, 7 out of 10. That's, I mean, Jalen was kind of just guessing at it, but that's a good number. John, your thoughts, because before we get into like any like secondary thoughts, just want to get your reaction overall, what you thought.
Yeah. So as people kind of mentioned in the chat, I kind of lowered my own expectations, maybe on accident, maybe on purpose. I mean, everyone knows I don't like Tom King. It's kind of the joke of this channel at this point.
You think so?
Rarely he has made anything I liked. The most complimentary thing I can say is that Mr. Miracle is fine, but like that's kind of it. I think it does have a lot of the framework of the comic, but it's very much goes into a very different direction. And that's a compliment because Tom King is ass. So, you know, I thought Millie was great. I did not get the feeling at all that this wasn't her movie. Like, Lobo was maybe in it for 15, 20 minutes.
They said he was in it for 15%.
And then, like, Corn Sweat was in it for maybe like 5 minutes, and that's kind of being nice.
I would disagree. I think David was in it a little more than that, but
I can see why
I actually
they
didn't see as much of it
kinda
as I thought we would. Yeah,
doubled down on them because, you know, Millie was quote unquote getting controversy from dickheads who were never seeing this movie anyway. So I feel like they were trying to do that, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's just, I think that was just a bad PR move. But it's whatever. But even outside of that, I thought Millie did a really great job.
Yeah.
Now I have seen 3 out of the 5 live action Supergirls. In terms of, I've seen bits and pieces of Helen Slater's performance. It's very, very Silver Age with how they portray that character in the 80s.
I would imagine they're very campy too. I've not seen them,
it's
but
I mean, from what I've heard,
campy.
Supergirl 1984 is a fucking horrendously awful movie.
Unfortunately,
and the way they portray her is kind of this like weird, kind of ditzy bimbo kind of character where she like doesn't have a lot of her own characters. Are very one-dimensional from what I've seen. I don't blame Helen Slater for that, but it just, you know, it was just the time, and it just has not aged well, even outside of the fact it's a bad movie. And then I've not seen Laura Vandervoort's interpretation. I've heard she's good on Smallville, but I have not seen it. Melissa Benoist, if she had better material to work with, she probably would be the best.
I think she was well cast,
but she was well cast. She just had fucking horrendously awful writing to deal with, as well as the fact she just wasn't Supergirl. Like, with how they wrote the character, she was just generic millennial woman with superpowers, and I'm like, that's not the character at all. And Sasha Calle, one of the best parts of the Flash movie. That's not saying much. That's a fucking low ass bar, but I feel like she was good with what she was given. But this was like the first time we've had like actress is strong and material is strong, you know, like a lot of, like, for Benoist and Callie, the actress was strong but the material fucking sucked. So, and then no offense to Helen Slater, there's a reason why she's halfway retired at this point. I'll just leave it at that. So with this, I do think Millie Alcock, because the fact that the writing was actually good here for her character, and she seems like a very good, capable actress. This is she's probably the best Supergirl we've gotten. Again, I have not seen Helen Slater in her entirety, nor have I seen Laura Vandervoort's version on Smallville, so maybe Vandervoort is better. I don't know. But from what I have seen, out of the 3 I've seen, Millie Alcock's probably the best we've gotten. And that's kind of a low bar, but I still thought she was very good. Jason Momoa's Lobo, pitch perfect casting, absolutely amazing in every sense of the word. Owned the screen, stole the show, was absolutely fantastic. He nailed the character. It helps that I almost said Jason Lobo. Jason Momoa understood the character. He understood the assignment. He's been reading this character since he was a kid. Whether he designed himself as the character or that's just happenstance, he's just like, I mean, the man is just the character IRL. He's literally...
No, I think that's more what it is.
The man looks like he was grown in a lab to portray Lobo. Like,
he was one of the best parts of the film, for sure.
What it was.
It feels like he's being himself because how closely his personality aligns with Lobo's.
Yeah, but it works. And I feel I like how he looked. I thought he looked like the character. I thought the makeup was very good on him. I liked everything about him was great. Some of the themes could have been executed better. But the idea of like overcoming trauma, I thought that was very good with like what she dealt with on Krypton, what she's trying to do for Ruthie, and what she is doing to save, you know, Crypto. And I liked that. I thought that was all well done. I thought the score, from what little of it there was good. Like, it was mainly needle drops, which aren't bad. I thought they were fine.
I wish we got more of Supergirl's theme, because the orchestral theme didn't really, like, when it builds up to the big crescendo at the end, we didn't have enough of it leading up to that point for me to be like, oh yeah, that's Supergirl's theme. You know, like, it was, I felt like if they had built it up better earlier, that at the end the crescendo would have hit harder.
Yeah, I think with that, I think the score, even though you don't hear a ton of it, I thought was very good. I'm fucking curious what the hell Junkie XL made for this movie, because goddamn. And as I said, the needle drops were fine. It's just there was one or two inappropriate moments for a needle drop. I'll leave it at that. I will say the humor was good. Like, God, imagine Seth Rogen being the best point of humor for your movie. That's not a good sign, but like...
Okay, it wasn't Seth Rogen because IMDb does not have him listed in the cast.
No, they confirmed that he had a cameo in Supergirl.
Thank you.
I know,
it sounded,
I know what you guys are talking
about.
about. Wait, hold
like
on.
Him.
But without, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He was
like,
the guy that assisted the driver on the bus.
Oh, that was him?
That was him. How could you not hear that? That was clearly Seth Rogen.
The whole time I'm like, this is 100%
100%
Seth Rogen.
It's it's Seth Rogen. 100%.
And I completely forgot to check the credits to see if he was credited, because oh my god, that he was. I loved that character, and he was so cute. He was like, he harkened me to like the worm in Labyrinth. I was like, oh my god, I want to take him home. I want to keep him in my pocket. He's so cute and so funny. I loved him.
But I will say, I mean, Lobo
I wish
was
I knew
hilarious,
what his name
but
was.
like, I would say most of the humor was actually quite good. Like, I think there was like, in my theater at least, there was like quite a few moments. Like, Seth Rogen got the biggest laughs for me.
Yeah, he was.
But
great.
in my theater, like, a lot of people were like laughing at quite a few moments. So I thought that was good. I liked that.
I think the laughs were there, but I feel like in the context they kind of got missed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to describe that any better, but again, you know, yes, Lobo, excellent.
It is.
He
is the co-pilot of the ship. The space
the
bus.
whole bus scene was good. A little draggy in the bus scene itself, but for the most part, that was pretty cool. That was very entertaining. The way they did that fight sequence, how that went down. I did not care. I liked this fight sequence was okay too. I did not care for the fight sequence on the ship, which is the one that we mainly see in the trailer itself.
Yeah, apparently he is. Yeah.
That one felt for me like it was shot by Michael Bay, where it was just a lot of, but you really couldn't hone in on exactly what was happening in front of you. Whereas
why is that a detriment? If it's being shot, that say what you will about Michael Bay, he might be a horrific director, but like, he's a great action director.
No, because again, what he does is he either gives you an intense up close shot, so you have no idea what is happening around that individual. There's no context, or
actually, no,
he gives you a wide shot Michael Bay. Where you can't, from my experience, my feeling about it personally. But again, I didn't care for the action sequence on the ship. I felt like it was kind of hard. You really couldn't appreciate Supergirl's power there, but on all of the other ones, you obviously. And again, here in this scene, this action sequence, great, amazing. You never saw Supergirl, so I was a little torn with all of that.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do, kind of like, John, can you finish? But what was your rating? Because then we can get in. We have questions
couple
to
other things
answer.
I wanted to mention. I thought the Krypton scene was amazing. I thought David Krumholtz was absolutely fucking fantastic.
Oh, he was wonderful.
Some CGI is good. Most of it is pretty bad. Like the green screen shots, some of the flying scenes were really fucking bad. It had an overall good plot, good ticking clock storyline. I thought it was well paced, felt very brisk for most of it. And the supporting cast are really good. I really liked Eve Ridley as Ruthie. She was a little annoying at points, but for the most part, she was really good. And yeah, Krem, kind of generic. Like, as people have said, kind of phase 1, phase 2 Marvel villain, where there's kind of nothing to him. He works within the context of the movie, but he's not memorable as a villain.
I thought it was funny he was always eating. I thought that was weird.
So yeah, he's like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11. But yeah, I think the Ruthie Kara relationship could have been better, because one of the few things that the comic had going for it was that relationship. It had a lot of really good moments, but for the most part, I thought this was very well done. I'm with Dan. I give this a 7.5. I was with you. I almost gave it an 8 for that Krypton scene, but then I'm like, nah, realistically, it's probably a 7.5. So
Okay, well, I mean, Liz, you wanted to talk about the fight scene, like what? Because I think to you, like this is something, and I don't know, like John, you as well. I remember that comparison. I think it's kind of accurate. Like in this particular sequence, what I felt, this happens in the third act, by the way, where Supergirl's doing a lot of the fighting, and Ruthie is kind of in the center of it all, like. But she's not the one doing a lot of the fighting, and
it's almost exactly what they did in Superman in the Palm Beach.
And you know what it was? I think the difference was in the Superman version, you get to see Mr. Terrific quite a bit. It's like, and I think it was executed better, both from a cinematography standpoint, but also either the VFX budget was better or whatever the case was. But I don't know, like John, because both John and Liz, I want to get your opinions on this fight scene, because that, to me, like this whole sequence also reminded me of, like, there were times when the movie kind of took the focus away from Supergirl for extended periods, because it became more about, like, it almost felt like it was Ruthie's story, and Supergirl was just like the hired gun in the moment.
And in the comic,
like,
it's even worse. In the comic, it barely fucking feels like a Supergirl story. The fact that it was called Supergirl one of the time, I'm like, why is it? This is clearly like 110% Ruthie's story. I thought it was done much better here, because again, I have that comparison in my head. So this was definitely felt more Supergirl than Ruthie, but yeah, in the comic, it's fucking way worse.
All right. Well, again, you guys are making me feel better, because I honestly thought I was going to come in here and just burst both y'all's bubbles, because I was like, man, they. So I'm glad that we all kind of feel very similarly. So. Okay. So
yeah,
again,
it's
it was enjoyable. I'm glad that
Superman
I saw it,
is better. It's flawed.
Yeah.
But the fact that I had like almost negative expectations going into it,
after
thanks
the comic,
Tom King, it eased my worries. I had a fun time with it. I really enjoyed it. Not perfect, but it had more good than bad. So
and the merch is all right.
Yeah, so, I must have knocked this thing over like 3 times by now, because I keep reaching for a tissue.
I might actually try to get what John has when I go on Monday. I have to see another movie that shall remain unnamed. John and Liz, you guys have a bunch of questions you guys sent us, so I wanted to go through that, and then we'll keep going through like our reactions. Because I do want to address like some of the other things, like for example, just kind of quickly mention it. Liz, you mentioned about the pacing. In terms of like the movie felt like it was not focused on. I felt like for the most part the movie was focused on Supergirl, but it definitely felt like that sequence we just talked about in the third act, as well as there were certain moments when the focus drifted away from Supergirl or Kara Zor-El long enough that you were wondering, are we really like how like it? And maybe it was partly the camera framing, because it's like for example, that whole Ruthie sequence. The camera is really focused on her, and Supergirl's fighting in the background. And if so that it does make you wonder, and there were a couple of moments like that in the movie. But I thought overall, like in terms of screen time, it was definitely felt like it was Kara's movie for myself.
Well, I did appreciate the backstory. I did appreciate the scenes with her family back on Krypton, and kind of giving you the real story as to what happened with that planet, and they even say, Superman was sent to Earth 8 years before she was even born, before Kara was born. This is what happened while he was away.
I don't know if that's a spoiler. We just want to be careful with that detail.
I'm sorry if it was. But Superman himself doesn't really know exactly all that transpired. Whereas she has that, she experienced that, she saw it firsthand. So I don't think it was a perspective that we've gotten yet. So that was really good. And again, I liked the actors who played her parents. I thought they did a good job. And
Emily Beecham and David Krumholtz.
Yes,
I thought they were really well cast. And they didn't have terribly long. I thought they would have a bigger role in the movie, but how some of the reviews or the reactions were looking, but they didn't really end up having that much to do with
I honestly
the
was surprised
plot.
that they were in it as much as they were. So I was happy about that myself.
Yeah, the Krypton stuff was awesome. It's also, I will say this, I don't know, is this a spoiler in me talking about how it connects to or doesn't connect to Brainiac? Is that a spoiler? Because I'm kind of speculating, because I feel like, I think it's okay for me to say that having seen this movie, there isn't an obvious connection to Brainiac yet. Maybe, but there's room for them to kind of like talk about things that we didn't know or that weren't shown, but there isn't an obvious connection to Brainiac. That's all I'll say. So that just so that if you guys are speculating for Man of Tomorrow, like if you once you see the movie, you'll realize what I'm talking about. It doesn't feel like Krypton and Brainiac are that connected, but then again, we don't get like a very broad perspective on how Krypton died. We just get the Supergirl perspective on it and like the Zor-El family. So which I thought was interesting because like again, like talking about it like 5 days a week, you know start to think like, oh yeah, it all, because we were talking about the theory just a couple of days ago, even yesterday's show. But anyway, so I want to go through some of the questions you guys have in the chat, and then Liz and John, whoever wants to take this, we have a bunch of questions here. I think that will help us sort of get into other details about the movie. So first one, Justin Biega did ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much better is the movie than the comic?
I don't know how I would scale that, but like I gave the movie a 7.5 out of 10. I would give the comic like a 2 out of 10. So I guess
So
5.5
significantly better.
I guess like
Significantly
five
better.
and a half better. I don't know how you scale that, but like
That's
sure.
dude, that's a big
Yeah.
difference. That's a big
Yeah.
difference. Okay, so let's see, what's the next question? So that's not a question here, but you know, figure drawing wasn't off the mark. You think it was too chopped up in the editing room? I think that's about what I was saying. I don't think they chopped it up in the editing room. I do think
No.
like editing was part of the issue in terms of not hanging long enough on some sequences. For example, John, I think we have the image here when this is in many of the trailers. I think it's meant to be when Ruthie's family is getting slain, which we know this is stuff that was in the trailer, so these are not spoilers. So it's pretty early in the movie that this happens when, you know, Krem goes to the planet, which they shot that in the Scottish Highlands, and then Eve Ridley has like a Scottish accent. I was like, you know, good choices there. It all kind of adds up. I'm trying to find this image, but basically, you know, there's that sequence where Ruthie's parents get killed, which we know from, if you read the comic, if you've seen the trailers, and then there's a shot where Krem is meant to sort of like intimidate Ruthie. Do you guys remember that shot? Am I imagining it? It's got to be in this trailer somewhere.
I think I know what you're talking.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and like it's that thing where in the trailer he does this like almost like a
Yeah.
fourth wall break moment, and then to intimidate Ruthie. And I was like, there was that. Also, some of the dialogue that you see in the trailer where he's talking to Supergirl on that ship of theirs. In both instances, those shots and that line of dialogue was missing in the movie. And I thought for a movie that like had a breakneck pacing, they could have used a little bit of that. Like because I think one of the complaints that a lot of people have had beyond just us, audiences as well as critics, is this movie has a very bland villain. I mean, I don't think it's like the most blandest villain I've ever seen. It's certainly not very impressive. Like in terms of like we have seen this before. People are doing a lot of Mad Max
he's
comparisons
not
and
like
stuff, but
he's not like Malekith or something.
no,
like
no.
that.
Well, I mean,
Like,
everybody forgets about the dark elves. Is that what they were? Is that
Yeah.
whatever they were? You know, in the moment that felt like there was a lot of promise, but then they ended up being the most bland villain in any Marvel movie. Anyway, so I don't think like Krem was that bad. Like you said, Liz, like Matthias Schoenaerts did a decent job with what he was given. I thought like
Yeah.
he was menacing enough. Like I thought it was at least on par with Lee Pace's character in the first Guardians movie. Like that like you know, like he chewed up the scenery in a lot of the sequences. The Brad Pitt eating thing was a little distracting. Like okay, cool, like a little sense of humor here and there, physical humor.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I think what I missed was those menacing moments. Like John, if you want to go back, because like in terms of editing, I don't think it's like they took out 20 minutes from the movie. Like I don't think they cut out 30 minutes like they did right before BVS ended up in movie theaters. Nothing of that like egregious
No.
nature. I just think there were scenes that needed to breathe more, especially those moments like
Yes.
John,
Yes.
like I think you would agree, and I don't, Liz, you've probably seen Inglorious Bastards, so we're talking
Sure
about
have.
that opening scene.
I mean, Inglorious Bastards, which ripped off The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, so it's always
Fair
ripping
enough.
off something.
But I mean, still, like, I mean, you look at that, like the way that scene is written, you live with the dread. The audience knows what's going on, and the audience is dreading for the characters that they love. And I felt like in this sequence, like that whole Ruthie thing, like that's the prime example. And there were several other scenes like it where they just didn't let it sit. Like I was like, oh, he killed him. Now he's gonna go and like bully Ruthie, and like no, he doesn't. Like he just, and like boom, it's done. Boom, it's gone. Even from the moment like shit starts to go sideways to the moment shit's done going sideways, it's like if you count it, it's like 5 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, he didn't really have any follow through. As a villain. Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, wait, what are you waiting for? Like, do it now. Like, set him up now. We want to hate this guy. Like, because I was worried. I'm like, are they doing it so that the crypto thing has more of an effect? Because I mean, that's gonna hit no matter what else he does. Because like, you don't fucking like mess with a dog. Because Krem's ultimate fate was deserved, regardless of how you think about superheroes, moral codes or whatever. I'm trying to say spoilers free here, but I don't know. I just felt like that was something they could have had more of. Like and it wasn't even just that sequence. There were several other sequences where it just felt like they were just starting the part of the scene where like, Davy Jones is harassing Captain Jack Sparrow before the action picks up. You want to have the villain chew up the scenery a little bit and really create that like villainy, I thought they had stuff that they cut out because it was in the trailers.
I think they had a lot. There was a lot of missed opportunities, I think we can say. And Hosea brought up the fact that she would have liked to see some shots of Kara adjusting to Earth more, like when Superman's talking about, oh, your powers are about to kick in, and that's not a spoiler because they have shown that clip. But we never see that happen. I would have liked it. There were no end credit scenes. Whereas in Superman, we got two, right? I think that those kinds of scenes, it would have been nice to throw those in the end, especially when we know we're going to be seeing her again. We're going to be seeing Superman again. It would have been nice if they kind of created just a little bit of something in the end that would kind of link us into the next iteration. But I just feel there was, again, a lot of missed opportunities there.
Yeah.
By the way, story building.
I agree with you completely.
I noticed that right away too. Yeah.
Can we talk about it for a moment again without getting into spoilers? Because without getting into spoilers, they really went out. Because I felt like one or two mentions was okay, but they really went out of their way to double down on the idea that Clark was sent.
Parents were real fucks. Yeah.
Like
what
to
the hell,
be a god, to breed or whatever. Like not the word breed wasn't used.
I think they said to conquer.
To conquer of worlds.
To conquer worlds.
Like, I was like, damn. You just needed one mention.
But it's just like,
then
I can kind of see what people are saying. Like, I didn't think David Krumholtz was miscast. I thought he did a fucking amazing job in this movie.
Absolutely.
For a small role.
Absolutely.
But
he was wonderful.
What people are saying. It's like, I don't feel this guy's the brother of Jor-El because literally in the movie, like he says, use your powers for good to help those who can't protect themselves. That's literally the opposite of conqueror of worlds.
Absolutely.
So it's like, maybe through his experiences on Krypton, on Argo City, like dying for a long time. Again, this was all shown in the trailer. We all know this, so that's not a spoiler. That like maybe like his experiences humbled him a lot. That could definitely be the case, but it feels weird that you have your brother and you kind of agree with him, like, oh yeah, make a harem, conquer the world, procreate so Krypton lives again, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden to your daughter, you're like, hey,
I mean, maybe they're more, male-driven society. I don't know.
I didn't get, but that wasn't like, you can't, the rule with good screenwriting is you don't want to have the audience imagine up a scenario. Like if you don't talk about it, if you don't say it, it's not true. So I don't think there was anything given in the Kryptonian like flashbacks that implied that the society was like a very male dominated society. I think it just felt like, again, sort of an incomplete narrative. There's still clearly a big gap here in understanding of like they were brothers. They both clearly saw the fate of Krypton coming, but they had two very different attitudes towards like what their kids or would-be kids, should be doing in their future lives. So, I mean, Liz, since you brought it up, they do explain the age difference between Kara and Superman, which we have talked about many a times, and it's it's like the Occam's razor way of doing it, where it's nothing like sci-fi-ish. It's just a very simple explanation. So when you see the movie, you'll know what we're talking about. Let's see, there's a few other questions definitely want to get into. So CC Black saying, is it true that Captain America, Brave New World, and the Marvels are better than Supergirl?
I can't compare because I haven't seen either movie.
I liked Captain Marvel better myself, but that's just me.
Well, they mean Marvels as in the one with Miss Marvel.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry. Someone had mentioned Captain Marvel earlier in the chat, and that, better than the Marvels? No, I would say maybe on par. Maybe.
I think
if we're
so.
really
I think
going
it's
to
on
compare
par.
a DC to a Marvel, I would say it's on par.
It's on par. I think it's on par.
Personally,
with,
I would say
Marvels.
Again, entertaining enough, but not that I would go see it in theaters.
I can't compare for Captain America 4 and the Marvels, as I have not seen those movies. I have no intention of seeing them. They look like shit to me. So Captain Marvel I was curious about, and Captain Marvel was not a good movie to me. I thought it was not interesting. I thought Brie Larson was a bland lead. It was not very memorable, very hackneyed and put together, and just not a good movie. Supergirl was overall a much better movie to me, more entertaining, well done. But yeah, in terms of like the best female-driven superhero movie, it's Wonder Woman. Like, Wonder Woman is going to be the GOAT for a long time.
That first one is still to this day like the standard. I will say though, like, I don't know if I agree with you, Sanju, that like they don't know how to write female superheroes at DC.
I mean, a woman wrote the fucking movie, bro. So
I think like the female perspective in terms of like having a female character that's not tone deaf because it's written by guys who either are not very familiar with the subject or just are not going to be able to write it with the same sense of empathy and understanding. I don't think that was the problem in this movie at all. I think the messy script critique that like Enterprising brought up and a lot of people have in the critics reviews, the messy script I don't think is because of what Ana Aguirre wrote. I really do think this movie
I think it's based off what she had to work with. Like John said, the comic was shit. So how do you polish up a turd?
No, but what I'm trying to get at is not so much. I'm saying it's not on an Aguirre. I don't think if you read the script, I think you'll find things in there, because this movie definitely, I'm gonna say, like, I'm gonna double down on the idea that the script was probably a little more cohesive than ultimately the movie that we get. And it's not like this movie has a cohesiveness issue in the sense that there's logic gaps and big plot holes. It's not. This plot is pretty straightforward as is. I think it's more that this movie just needed more, like, the impact of a lot of the emotional moments that help carry you through the film and along with the character's journey. It just felt like they kind of skipped over some elements where they just let things breathe a little more. It would have felt less generic, because without those emotional moments, everything kind of like feels like noise at one point. And not that it was noise, but it feels more bland because you don't have the grounding in the characters, like motivations, or like when they're struggling, like even like I thought the moment where they hung out the longest in an emotional scene was when Crypto was poisoned, and we see it in the trailers, like she's like, "Don't give up on me, buddy." Like, that was the one part of the movie that I actually no, that was that part, and then when Crypto's back later in the movie, those are the two parts where I kind of like teared up and almost cried, because those were like, it will get you especially if you're an animal person, right? So, but anyway, Steven saying, Liz, should be worried about Wonder Woman because the writer of Supergirl is writing that screenplay as well?
I'm gonna say no right now. See, listen, gang, you have to understand, movies are a lot of elements, right? Yes, script, super important, but you could have an incredible script going into it, and it can be edited to death. The actors can make some certain kinds of
changes. For instance,
certain things can, again, the female-driven Ghostbusters was not what was originally written. What we got was not what the actors all signed on for. So anything can happen between the creation and approval of the script and the final product that we get.
Exactly, because one of the best examples of this is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, directed by Kenneth Branagh, because Frank Darabont, who wrote that script, he said this in an interview. I don't know when he said, I don't know if it was like around the time of release or many years later, but he said to a camera, he's like, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was the best script I ever wrote and the worst movie I've ever seen. So literally anything can happen.
Sure. So you know, just perfect example for a big blockbuster that we have upcoming, right? So the Odyssey, I read the translated Odyssey that Chris Nolan has based the film off of. I read the exact one that he said, this is the translation, this is the version that I used. So I'm going to go into this expecting he said he based it off of this book. If I get a very different film than what I should be getting, you know, there's your answer, right? It happens all the time. We see it all the time. So
if you don't think we're going to get Wonder Woman after this,
for Wonder Woman.
I think that's a Monday morning quarterback reaction. Johnny Dome with a random question: do you think a great director can use a bad script? Because Tenet to me is not a great script. Well, I don't think Tenet is. I personally think Tenet is a good script. It's also just the story mechanics.
I think
it's not very
Tenet had a lot of issues.
The way it works.
Tenet had a lot of things going on. I think
Tenet we all kind of disagree on the Tenet part.
I like Tenet.
I liked it, but I can see what people's issues with it are.
Yeah, but I think the question was, can a good director take a bad script and make it better? Yes, absolutely. A good director can take a bad script and make it a lot better.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
No, I'm saying like there's always going to be a ceiling, but I think like a good director can maximize what they have.
I mean, they can make
Craig
a
Gillespie's a good
shitty
director.
script slightly less shitty. But
that's what
a friend
I mean.
of mine has always said, a director can ruin a good script, but it's impossible to make a good movie out of a bad script.
Let's take a look at it in another way, right? Ready Player One, incredible book, incredible story.
But the movie,
I don't know about that, but sure.
No, I read the book. The book is amazing. The first one, Ready Player One, an incredible book, incredible world to build. What we got from Steven ain't it. It was entertaining, but that was not the book I read. I'll tell you that. So it happens all the time. And again, if you're not like myself, if you're not like John, where you're reading all of this stuff ahead of time, or you've seen the show, or if you're familiar with the comic, what have you, you're gonna walk in and maybe you'll think it's great, and maybe you'll think it's dog shit. But it's all subjective at the end of the day.
Yeah, and let's. I just want to address. So Smacky in the chat is asking, well, when can I talk spoilers? We're not gonna get into spoilers till at least Monday, because people are some of you guys are not seeing it. Yeah, some of you are not seeing it until the weekend. So
be kind to your fellow moviegoers.
Yeah, and we'll get into the specifics. We've been trying to talk around some elements. If anything slips, we apologize. Jalen saying, do you think this movie needed a post-credit scene, or does the ending conclude it well enough?
Yes,
it concludes.
I'm okay. I didn't.
But everybody wants a post-credit scene. It's a superhero movie.
Know.
We fucking deserve post-credit scenes. We demand post-credit scenes.
I mean, Liz, just yesterday I was saying it's like a Marvel set this expectation like 15 years ago, but like it's not like, doesn't mean that it needs to be that. I don't personally need it.
It does.
It's just
I
will say
it does need it.
You guys were asking about like my theater.
It's just a fun little extra for the fans.
Yeah, like
it does need it. Again, it could have been Kara and Clark trying to get adjusted to one another, trying to, it could have been something just just funny, just a little aside.
There is no post-credit scene as far as we know.
There is no.
No, it's such a bummer. What a letdown.
Yeah. But I will say, like, okay, so by the way, there isn't a Brainiac anything in this movie, just letting you guys know, so you're not disappointed. Don't go into it with any expectations. I was kind of hinting at it earlier. There really isn't any direct connection. It's just the first time you'll hear any influence of Brainiac is likely going to be in Man of Tomorrow. Right. But I don't like. Here's the thing: as far as the post-credit scene, just before we move on to the next set of questions, half of the audience in my theater were sitting waiting for a post-credit scene, whereas there were definitely some of the younger crowd were walking out because they looked on their phones. They were like, there's nothing here, or they were aware.
I didn't trust that because that could have been just for the premiere. So,
but no, it's fair. No, we talked about that before too. But like for me, I can go either way on that. Jalen saying, do you think the DCU should have less comic adaptations, less comparisons, or should do more films or shows? Well, that's a pretty broad question, but if you're just asking, like, should they try to do more direct adaptations? This is not a direct adaptation of Women of Tomorrow. John just said that. So I definitely feel like no movie adaptation is ever gonna like do a one for one, especially if it's live action, and that's fine because you got to fit it into your cinematic universe. Like this,
but
movie is
we
part of a
do
bigger
know
cinematic universe.
fans get pretty mad if
Hey,
people
Thanos,
just come
right.
up with a story out of nowhere. So I don't know that that's the direction we should be going in either.
No, exactly. They could have put in a post-credit scene, but like James Gunn doesn't like doing those connections.
Yeah, here's the thing.
So.
Like, I agree with Liz. If there was one, it should have been like, Kara learning English or something like that. And
that would have been fun.
Cute.
Yeah.
You know, and then like honestly, what could have been like
she could have had a
is like
fist my
she's
bump
learning
moment,
like it's
man.
like
Come on.
Duolingo, and then Crypto eats the phone or something. That could have been like cute.
Yeah.
But James Gunn has said he never wants to do a post-credit scene that teases the next movie because he thinks that you're writing yourselves into a corner, because that's exactly what happened to him on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. He teased Adam Warlock. He was forced to use Adam Warlock in Guardians 3 when he did not want to, so he doesn't want to do future teases for future films, because
that's fair.
Just look at, the one for Eternals. Harry Styles is not fucking coming back to the MCU anytime soon, if ever. So like they don't want to, or like look at Blade. They teased him and like with Kit Harington, and that shit's hasn't happened yet. So it just writes you into a box, and it's just like, oh, I have to pay this off, and it's just like, sometimes that's not necessary.
Or even what they did with Peacemaker with the Justice League and all that had to make, those changes.
Well, I mean, the retcon stuff there. Yeah, definitely true. I mean, but like I think that's such a weird scenario because like mixing two cinematic universe things is always going to be a problematic. But still waiting for Black Knight. They didn't remove anything. There just never was a post-credit scene in the movie. Like I said, it would have been okay to have one, but like it doesn't make a difference to me personally. What's next for Amelia Alcock, Supergirl? We will talk about that later, but just to let you know, she is in Man of Tomorrow. She's already filmed some stuff for it.
And she has got a job at a bakery, so she's going to be all right. Don't worry about her, you guys.
Well, no, actually, she had to tell them no because she got the role. Anyway.
I bet you they'd hire her back.
I bet you they would, but they probably can't afford her anymore. No, I don't. Well, okay, Steven. So this movie could grow on you over time. I definitely think there's a potential. There's moments in this that stand out that people will remember and going back to it. But I don't think it's not like all of a sudden you're gonna think this movie's 20 times better than it actually is. That doesn't happen with any movie, right? To feel this movie makes a Lobo movie more possible. If you're asking if a Lobo, this kind of tease up, I think this gives us enough of a taste that people would want to see more Lobo. I still don't know if you want to just go straight to a Lobo solo movie just yet. But let me kind of go back to some of your other questions from earlier, because I want to make sure we get to all of those. I know that we have talked about the screenwriter, director getting a lot of criticism. I'll just address this real quickly, John, and I want to get your take on it too. There has been this idea, a lot of you guys brought it up, like this movie felt like James Gunn light, and maybe this should have been done by James Gunn so that you got the full impact of what maybe he was going for. But that also implies that James Gunn was maybe more involved in this than he actually likely was. Because if Ana Naguera wrote the script, James Gunn signed off on it, then you hire Craig Gillespie to come in to direct it. I thought they had the right pieces in place. I'm still kind of struggling to kind of reconcile, because the supposed budget I saw today for this movie was 170 million, but I know James Gunn debunked that before. This was from Deadline, but I think they might have had $170 million budget, but after all the tax breaks and incentives, I think they brought it down well below 150. But it's like, you do wonder, because I know like the budget for Superman was like 225, but then they brought it down below like around 175, or like because of like all the tax incentives and stuff that they got in Ohio. So the ultimate cost for the studio is less, but it's still, Superman was a more expensive movie, so maybe that accounts for. This movie felt like it was lacking scale at times. Like a little, like I felt like there were maybe like more, like you said, like whether it's Kara getting, used to being on Earth, maybe a scene or two there. You get to see maybe Metropolis again, other than just outside of a window. You go back to some of the sets that we saw in Superman in some instances, like Clark's apartment at one point. but then there's other elements where the different planets that they're on, it felt like you're watching like a really high-end sci-fi show where you go to a planet, you see the name of the planet, you know, the type of star that it has as a graphic, and then you just get into whatever, you know, particular corner of that planet you're in, which a lot of sci-fi shows do that and have done that over the years. It didn't feel as expansive. Like you didn't have a lot of like big sweeping establishing shots in the movie, which is usually an indicator of they have more money to spend. Like, did you feel that, John? Because I feel like all those things you can't blame on the screenwriter and director. If this movie was budget constrained, the director and screenwriter can only do so much, you know?
They can only do so much, but there is the possibility you can be a little more creative with the execution.
That's fair.
But again,
I mean, does Craig Gillespie have he hasn't done anything like superhero stuff before, right?
No,
so, like,
that was kind of the issue I had. It's like, yes, the guy who brought us Lars and the Real Girl and I, Tanya, Supergirl. Interesting leap, but okay. Not saying he's a bad director. I mean, literally his movie I, Tanya won Academy Awards, so but I think he was definitely a weirder choice for this kind of movie. Like I have said before, I think George Miller would have definitely given this a more unique vision and a more creative push than Craig Gillespie did, but you know, I think we still did get a good, you know, film out of it. Just, you know, I just think Gillespie's, in terms of his lack of experience, did kind of hinder some more creative decisions that could have been good under a better director.
Yeah, I think there was maybe a mismatch because I think he nailed the character elements, but the movies, because the thing is, when you have a director who knows how to do great action cinema, or like how to shoot it, like Zack Snyder, Michael Bay do a good job at shooting action. They're not the best at like the other character stuff. Craig Gillespie is really good at character stuff, but he clearly, I don't think, was bringing ideas to the camera team to do like these unique things, or like, can we try this shot this way? I want to get this camera move. Can you guys figure it out for me? Like, he doesn't give me the impression that that's the kind of director Craig Gillespie was. And you do feel that a little bit, because I think like James Gunn, for example, has that kind of a mindset where he's a very visual director. So, and you see that in his movies. And I mean, he's not the only example. There's plenty others, maybe not Craig Gillespie though. Steven asking, how was your theater crowd reaction? I don't know. I'll give mine, and then John, you take, and Liz as well, if you want to talk about your theater. I thought my theater was like, they enjoyed the movie, they laughed a little bit. It wasn't like they were like laughing super out loud. Like some moments you could feel the moments hit, and the audience was engaged. The theater was pretty much all full. There was maybe like only 3 empty seats in the whole theater. 2 of them were next to me, ironically enough. But then, and they were supposedly booked because I couldn't get so I was like, they didn't show up, whoever they bought the tickets. But anyway, the point is,
oh shit, that was tonight. Fuck.
I thought my theater was good. It wasn't like Michael's level of like clapping every time a Michael Jackson performance comes up, but that's a different kind of experience. So I don't know about you guys. How were your theaters, like John and Liz?
They were, you know, they were laughing at quite a few moments. They were into it. Like, it definitely seemed more positive than negative. So yeah, like not at like a ton of audience interaction, but enough to be like, oh yeah, they're into it. I think this is good, fun time. So yeah, I think they had a good time with it.
Yeah, I would say the same. My audience, people definitely applauded afterward. Not a lot of interaction throughout the film, but it does sound like most people had a good time. So
yeah. All right. By the way, I have no idea why Junkie XL was replaced on this. He wasn't even the guy that came after, or didn't they replace the person who replaced Junkie XL to ultimately land on they went through like 3 different
Claudia something or other.
I don't know, because it's not like the soundtrack the soundtrack on this, you know, outside of the score on this movie isn't exactly a standout anyway. So they just couldn't figure out what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Do you guys think that the audience might like this movie more than the critics? Because we will get it. I mean, I don't know, John, if you have the critic score up, but it's currently sitting at 56% with 133 reviews. It is rotten.
I think
that's
a lot of them are being way too harsh.
Yeah. I think the popcorn meter will be higher for sure.
Yeah. Smacky's theater was pretty positive, so that's good. It doesn't take one to realize that talented filmmakers may not always be the best evaluator of other talent. Well, you got to also remember, it's not just James Gunn. Peter Safran as a producer part of his job is literally to hire directors to package a movie together with the right script and a director and the right talent on, you know, on camera, behind the camera. So it's not just James Gunn. I mean, and you know what, honestly, like if this is the only miss and then everything else from here is still a hit, like, you know, you got Lanterns, you got Clayface, then you got Man of Tomorrow, the Batman Part 2, you know, we should give them some leeway here. It's not like MCU's phase 1 was like all, you know, light and shining armor across the board. Like, I felt like there were definitely dips in the early years of the MCU as well as the DCEU, more dips than, you know, highs, the Fox universe as well. So if this is like one movie that is rotten and everything else still continues to be positive, then we should be okay. The villain was definitely weak, Steven. We did talk about that. Jalen asking, do you think this is more comparable to Thor: The Dark World or The Incredible Hulk? Liz, do you have a comparison?
No, I don't. I think it's better than the Dark World, of course.
Yeah. I think like I can kind of see like the
I
Incredible
feel like they're
Hulk
on different
comparisons. They're on different levels.
You know what? But they're on different levels. We're talking about like different time periods at this point. You know what I mean? Like I can't. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
The only reason that there is any sort of comparison, if we're like looking at the comparison of like where the MCU was at that point, where the DCU is now, like Superman is kind of like Iron Man. It received glowing reviews. It was a box office hit. It a lot of people seemed to like it. It won, and it propelled the universe, all that stuff. So Iron Man was very well received at the time. Meanwhile, Incredible Hulk, it was not very well received. It was mainly mixed to negative. Not a lot of people really liked it. They thought it was a very flawed movie, and it didn't really connect properly to Iron Man. Not like they really were at that point. It was like sort of like throwing Tony Stark in was like a last minute fucking thing. Right. So that's kind of the only comparison. It's like, okay, Superman is kind of like Iron Man. That's the one that people like. Yeah. Incredible Hulk, even though I disagree, I think fucking Incredible Hulk is a fantastic movie and one of my favorites of the MCU. But for me, it's just like in terms of audience reaction of like, it was not as well liked. Not a lot of people still seem to like it as much. It has gotten reevaluated a little bit, but it's sort of like it's just like the quality of movies and the fan reaction to both of them are kind of similar. But in terms of the actual movies themselves, furthest from comparison, like at all. Like it's not even. It's not comparable. A fair
comparison. So then the next question, I think Johnny Dome asked this, and then also earlier Jalen had asked pretty much something along the same lines. You guys were talking about it in the chat. Do you think we will see Ruthie return?
No.
And then maybe alongside Kara in the future?
No.
I think they from a marketing standpoint, I think they would be interested in doing that, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that's what fans want at the end of the day.
No. I mean, towards the end of the movie, if anything, I was like, they're kind of hinting at, like, there's going to be a future for Ruthie. They almost seem like, oh, like, Ruthie's got her stuff figured out, but then...
Like, maybe it could be a future end credit scene where she, like, goes and visits her and is like, hey, girl, I'm hitting like the bar, like, let's have ladies' night. Like, that I could see.
Or I could also see, like, fucking, if the DCU is still pumping out movies, if it's still going on, if it's still happening, fucking 10, 15 years down the line... like Supergirl and like maybe a Green Lantern, Lobo, this guy, that guy, they're in
comes
space
out of nowhere
together
and you're like, oh,
on
hey, girl.
a cosmic adventure, and they're caught in a fucking
because
they're caught in something, and we're like, we need weapons, we don't have anything.
I was gonna say,
like, I know a girl who makes swords, and then
because that's her family thing. That's the guild. Yeah,
I
could see something like that.
Yeah,
but like that's about it. That's about it.
I like
I
that.
don't see anything major outside of it.
Yeah, maybe that. Like, I don't know if it's a good comparison, but like the dwarves who made the weapon for Thor, the god hand. What was it? What did they call it?
The giant, Peter Dinklage's the little person and all little people.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my god. Stormbreaker.
Okay. Stormbreaker. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Stormbreaker. Cool name. Better than Birds of Prey.
Never saw
it. Yeah,
it.
dude. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
dude.
Better
Never
than Birds
saw
of
it.
Prey.
After they desecrated my girl Cassandra Cain, I refused to watch that film.
We're getting into the box office stuff. Don't you worry, Cece. Like we're trying to work our way through your questions, then we'll talk
Yeah,
about
don't
the
worry.
other
We'll
reviews,
be here
box
for
office.
5 hours, guys. Just
Don't you
strap
worry.
in. Stay here. Stay with us. Jesus, we're never
I
leaving.
wouldn't mind if Ruthie became a big character down the road in some other capacity. I just don't think she's gonna be like showing up in like the next thing. So
Not in this
maybe she has a
universe, she's
cameo, but
wimp.
yeah. Well, you know, she's meant to
But
be
that's
like a
no, but
little
that's
child.
how they wanted her. That's how they wanted to
yeah.
keep her.
She was 13, bro. Calm down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and wimpy.
Okay, so Enterprising Will Incredible Hulk did have 80% Rotten Tomatoes, just a lower audience score. Yeah. I mean, look, again, different time. We're gonna keep the conversation focused on on this movie, Supergirl, for now. By the way, just quick shout out to Kyle, who said that he mentioned in a comment to one of the reels that went up today that he's going to see Supergirl on Thursday, and then this weekend Kyle is getting married. So congratulations to Kyle.
Congrats,
Thank you for
Kyle.
sharing that with us.
Have a great
and we
time.
love to hear that. All right. So then Jason was saying, why do people think Gunn is leaving? He has this dream job, full control. If he has it anywhere else, it would be a massive step down for him. FFS. So yeah, I don't look, the Monday morning quarterbacking this movie, people are gonna talk about, Paramount's gonna use this movie to whip the James Gunn and Peter Safran about like how they can't get things right. Look, it is interesting to see how this, because I think this year we've talked about it many times between Supergirl, Clayface, and Lanterns. There are 3 projects that James Gunn is a producer on, but not a writer or director on. So it's going to be an incredible test of his leadership as well as Peter Safran's leadership as a producer turned studio executive, how they can shepherd this stuff where they're not the ones who are leading the creative firsthand. And that's going to determine, I think, as a whole, on average, between the 3 projects rather than just one of them. It's not a good start overall, because Supergirl is a mixed bag, and we all give it a 7.5 out of 10. So it could have been better, but we still enjoyed it. But like the Rotten Tomatoes rating is obviously lower than that. So I'm willing to wait until we see how Lanterns and Clayface play out to really give our final evaluation on if this is going to be a problem for the new regime, because it's not about one bad mark. It's about like death by 1,000 cuts. And so if they start to see like everything from here on where it seems to be struggling, if they can only get it right when James Gunn is directing it, then that pattern is going to be more important than one movie that people didn't maybe connect to as much as they should have. All right, so let's see, what else do we have here? Random question. Do you think that a great... Oh, no, we already went through that. Even before the movie was released, there was so much hate. Why does it only happen for actresses who play female leads? Sunju, so...
Because
we talk about it
basement-dwelling, small-penis fuckwads hate
Welcome
women.
to the world.
That's why. Why are you shocked?
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. There's your answer there. Do you think there's less comic adaptation? We talked about a lot of this stuff. What's next for Millie Alcock Supergirl? We'll talk about that later, because she's not only going to be in Man of Tomorrow.
She's going to open a bakery.
She's also going to be in the next movie after that, apparently. We'll get into that. What are your thoughts on the current tracking? We'll get to that in a minute as well. We have all of that stuff coming up.
All day, every day. 100%.
This is a good question from Jalen. Do you feel this movie expands the DC universe overall, or does it feel like a standalone movie? Did you guys feel? Because I felt like it expanded a cosmic side of the DCU that we hadn't seen yet. Like
now we have
I would say,
the universe feels like,
yeah.
Okay, and then we talked about Ruthie.
Well, I can't spoil it, but all I'll say is I didn't realize how many different suns there were. So
there's like so many stars in the galaxy. Anyway,
I'm aware of the stars and the moons. I just didn't know that there was a bunch of different suns. And also, I don't think there are a bunch of different suns. So shut up, Dan.
What do you mean? No, there's different kind of stars. There are different kind of stars.
Well,
I don't know if there's any.
Yes.
There's one color star in this movie that I don't really think is a real thing, but there are other color stars.
It's directly from the comic. Yeah.
It's directly from the comics, yeah. Anyway, Jalen saying, would you say James should not invite Craig Gillespie to do another DC film, or should it be a one and done? I feel like Craig Gillespie probably could come back and direct another movie that's maybe more...
If he wants to. If he doesn't want to, don't force him.
Yeah, but also like I feel like maybe Supergirl in hindsight wasn't the best pick for his talents because of how much this movie required you to be great with action direction, big set pieces. I think something that's a little more contemplative, maybe something that's more character focused. Not that this movie wasn't character focused, it's just there's a lot of action in the film. I think Craig Gillespie would have shined better with a different character. Maybe like The Question or something like that. Like could be a movie that Craig Gillespie could take on. We talked about Ruthie already. You guys have asked a lot about the Ruthie character. I'm sure we'll see her again. Was the sword meant to matter more? Did it mean more in the comic? John, that's on you.
No, the sword had the same significance. It was essentially, I think it mattered a little bit more in the comic because that was, I believe, the sword that killed her father. So she took the sword so she could use the sword that killed her father to kill the man that murdered her father. Right. So I still think it mattered though because it was still I believe
it was used to effect by the end of the movie is what it was.
So the context of it, the context I got, the vibe I got was that this was the last sword to have survived the explosion and her house going on fire. Like this was the last one. This was the last remnant of her father, and she's gonna use it. So slightly different context, but like same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, I agree on that. I feel like maybe the importance of the sword could have been more so, but like then it would have become a MacGuffin and it didn't really need to. So I think they did fine with that. Sanju was saying DC should do sagas like the MCU or make the movies feel more important. I think you're hinting at the idea that DC has tried to keep these fairly standalone. Like I feel like you can go watch Supergirl without necessarily having seen Superman. Like it doesn't like they matter, and you get obviously you would know more about David Cornsweet's Superman if you had seen Superman before you saw Supergirl, but I do feel like this early on these movies are still fairly standalone. Over time they will start to get more interconnected. That's my take on this. So as far as sagas go, I mean they're doing the whole monsters and gods and monsters thing, so they are kind of doing sagas, but like also for the MCU, sagas were like they were less of a thing early on, even though they called them that. And then since the multiverse started, now they're more of a saga because there's more of a drive. But when they tried that, it also fell flat because a bunch of shit came out that nobody cared about and it felt disconnected. So it's all relative, honestly. Like sagas or otherwise, I don't think that's the as long as you make a good movie one at a time, if they're connected, great. If there's crossover potential, great. Make good movies. It doesn't need to be a saga for that to work. Like that's just a cherry on top ultimately. Lanterns does have an uphill battle. I think we went through all the questions.
Because it looks like a boatload of ass.
We have a great poster for that coming up later in the show. The people are attacking this movie already want the DCU to not exist, so they're looking for any reason to not make it exist. I will say most of those people make up, generally speaking,
loud minority
on the internet. Yeah. Like it's not like the most. I felt like most people going into this movie were very excited. Most of the people talking after the movie were talking positively. So the worst I heard was
I would say just for us being able to go to a fan event, the amount of people in my theater I think was impressive and does show that there was excitement out there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like the worst I heard from anybody in my movie theater coming out was, Superman was a bigger movie, they had more money spent on it, so this felt like a little like more limited, and I think we've talked about that, and that's because the movie had a smaller budget and it's meant to be a smaller movie because they didn't want to take as big of a risk. Was that maybe the wrong move? I don't know. Time will tell. Noel, hello. Noel saying DCU Annecy Festival announcements start tomorrow. Yes, and we will be covering all of that. We actually have some Annecy stuff later in the show today too. Clayface could still be a really, really good, home run because it's a horror movie, different set of expectations at the box office, all that stuff. PLO, hello. More Cat and I, hello. The audience score is more important for the Rotten Tomatoes. Well, we don't have that for a few more days, so we'll see how that works. Krem is not bad, but he did fall a little bit flat, so we've talked about that. More Cat and I. Craig, maybe do a Harley Quinn movie, maybe sort of like Cruella. John, would you like a Harley Quinn movie from Craig Gillespie?
Enterprising just said my thoughts.
There you go. I figured that was gonna be. Do you feel that Supergirl will do better on streaming when it hits?
I think so. That could definitely
it will do fine. Yeah, I mean, HBO Max. Yeah, there's probably going to be people who will not go see it in theaters and they'll find it on streaming down the road. With the addition of the Supergirl film, does the universe feel cohesive so far? Says
I think so.
PLO.
I don't think it really needs to, but like,
yeah, I don't think it.
If
needs,
anything, to try to.
I don't think it took away from that.
Right.
I'll
I mean,
say
the
that.
next movie is going to be a fucking straight up horror movie, so
That's going to feel very standalone from what we're hearing. If anything, this movie went out of its way to like tie into the Superman lore with like the conqueror
well,
of
here's a
worlds
side
and all
quest
that
with
stuff.
a Batman villain nobody knows or really cares about.
Yeah. Jeff Snyder said it's a mess. You don't like him. Yeah.
Jeff Snyder needs to get in his
Jeff
zone.
Snyder's a mess. He's a mess.
He's a mess. It's just
your own shit
he
out,
wears
buddy.
ugly yellow tank tops where we see his hairy
Dude, that tank top, I'm still mad about it. Honestly, I'm
it
still
lives
mad
rent
about
free in Liz's head. See what you
It-
do
it haunts me.
to the
It haunts
people
me.
I like Jeff Snyder. This is what you,
You can
do.
say
to them.
love, John. I love
and
you too.
and
can
you
say
know it's I gotta have the asshole thing like still going on. So but like see what you do, Jeff Snyder. This is what you do.
All villains have
This is
someone.
what-
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Run for your life.
No rant. I'm just saying Jeff Snyder. You
Oh
better
come on,
back the fuck
Dan
up.
wants to use it so bad. Dan hasn't been able to use it yet. Killing him. Killing him. He
fine,
can't
it's
use
fine.
it.
Well, we'll get there
I don't
one
yet.
day.
We don't have the fucking time to go on a rant. We're still on Supergirl.
Okay,
And we're 90
all right,
minutes
so-
Yeah,
in.
bro,
So
genuinely.
I'm just gonna go through a few more comments, then we
I
can
will not
because
be
we
here
still
the
have
whole
more
show. I'm
Supergirl
telling
stuff.
you right now.
It's totally fine. Has there been a story? Basically, Thanos was right. Was asking about has the gods and monsters like? Has there been a thematic thing that connects everything together so far? I think it's too early. This is only the second movie in the cinematic universe. It's like asking after Iron Man and what was it, Captain America, the first Avenger, whether there's a plan. Oh no, the Incredible Hulk. Other than the post-credit scene that they hinted at an Avengers team up. I don't. I think it's too early to tell. Like, it doesn't really matter as much. And we talked about how with the writer stuff, more Katna, that I think Ana Aguirre will be just fine because the movies go through so much changes. Like, you write a movie when the script is written, then you rewrite it when you film the movie, then you write it again when you're editing it. So much happens. I don't think if this movie underperforms that it's solely the screenwriter's fault. There's a lot of other stuff
Agreed.
that goes into it. And I think James Gunn is very aware of that. He's in
Agreed.
fact defended that. Like that's why I said Christina Hodson's doing a Batman movie because her script was great for the Flash. It's just the execution was bad according to James Gunn. There isn't any Lanterns connection in this movie. Again, not trying to give you false sense of expectations. There's no Lanterns connection. DCU slate prediction at Annecy. Well, I think they're going to give us more Mr. Miracle stuff, that's for sure. That's the only project that's canon to the DCU. All the other animation stuff is sort of like Elseworld. So, yeah, we'll see how that works. I mean, obviously, we'd love to see who the voice cast is for that. That would be great. Because then maybe those
do I know
actors
who
will be live
Mr.
action.
Miracle is? I feel like I'm
No.
missing
No,
something.
you don't.
Okay, thank you,
Nope.
John. Okay, good.
Super niche
Thank you.
character. It's
Okay.
the only thing that you would know maybe is it's part of the same thing that involves Darkseid, and that's it.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the only thing you would really know.
It's
Thank
like
you.
that world, that world of characters. Like
Yeah,
Zack Snyder
Fourth
was doing a
World that
little
was
bit of
made by
that.
Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
That's essentially
Okay.
all it is.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
Okay. So on that note, I think do you guys have any other well, we're gonna wrap up the Supergirl review part, but we still have more Supergirl stuff to talk about. We're gonna talk about
Yes,
some of the
yes,
other
yes.
reviews that are out there. We'll get into the box office.
It's got to be
stuff.
like quick hits for the rest of the show. So
Yeah.
it's like
Genuinely.
under like 2 hours.
Genuinely.
But any last thoughts on Supergirl? Like, do you guys recommend Supergirl? Would you recommend?
I
to other people to
recommend
go
it.
see it?
I recommend it.
Yes, I would say again, if you're a DC fan, if you were looking for yes, it's worth seeing, it's worth checking out. Go see it for yourself. And again, we're just a couple of schmucks on the internet. Don't take our
I mean,
word,
although
you know
we're
what I mean?
better than like Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns, who just
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
form your own
I recommend it
opinions.
too.
Yes.
Look, I would say I recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen it. If you struggle with like a movie that where a dog gets hurt at one point, again, it's not like John Wick, so it's not that bad. But it's like if you don't want to like seeing a dog in any kind of like trouble, physically distress. There you go, that's the word. If you don't like seeing a dog in distress, then this might be a movie you struggle with at certain points in the film. But other than that, I think this is a fun movie. Like you want to go see a good movie at the box office over the summer months. It goes by pretty fast, and you're not going to take like 3-4 hours of your day. Even with ads, it's still like all the trailers before, so you're going to spend 2.5 hours in the theater, so it's not really anything that takes too long. And so overall, I think Supergirl is a fun time in the movies. It does get dark at times. It gets pretty contemplative, but then the humor hits and the action is fun. So it's not going to change your life. I think I was talking about that earlier in the week as well, but it's a fun movie to go check out. So yeah, go enjoy it, and I think we all recommend it. So there you go. That's Supergirl, and without any spoilers, as much as we could, but we'll get into spoilers on Monday. All right. On that note, John, let's get into the rest of we have a lot to talk about, especially with regards to the Rotten Tomato score. We've kind of already gone through a lot of it. Do we want to take a look at some of what the other critics are saying?
Essentially, like it ranged from mixed to negative. Deadline thought it was okay, not great. Hollywood Reporter was unimpressed. Variety fucking hated it, but they also called Cruella good, so kind of fuck them.
Fair, right? Yeah, exactly.
But the rap, there's a lot of frustration and the casual and unanswered sexism. It's about human trafficking. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
And then Games Radar said it's messier, but it's still pretty good. Millie Alcock is praised. IO9 liked it. Empire liked it. IGN was middle of the road. Guardian thought it was, not perfect, but a good time.
I saw a lot of critics saying they liked Millie, but they didn't care for the villain.
Source material, which not true, but most people like the comic, and I don't know why. But it's a worthwhile companion piece to DC's big guy. So yeah, it's mainly middle of the road. For the most part, from what I've heard, it's just like where it is right now, which is at 56. That's essentially like pretty divided, like a little bit leaning more towards positive. But it's for some reason it's rotten. Like I don't know why, but I never thought that like 60. I would say 50 and below is rotten. But what the fuck do I know? Anyway,
no, it's 60 and below. 60 is like the passing grade, basically.
No, I know. I found that to be kind of fucking stupid because like 60 is like a D. Like it's I don't know, whatever.
Isn't that how they graded stuff in school? Like 60 was like
that's what he's talking about.
Okay,
that's what he's saying. Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, then spoilers hit social media. Do you want to?
Yeah, just be careful because
let's move away from this. Let's not talk about it just in case. But they were also talking about this, how Millie Alcock's Supergirl. It's a big part of the next DCU movie after Man of Tomorrow.
This was Lars P. Vinther. Remember, they were talking about it at the red carpet for Supergirl in Brooklyn. They mentioned that they already know that, she plays a big role in Man of Tomorrow. James Gunn said as much as well on the same red carpet. But then they also said, so we have Man of Tomorrow, and we already know what the next movie is going to be after that, and she's a big part of that. So they already know the next movie after Man of Tomorrow, and they know that Supergirl is going to be a part of that too. So if you're worried about the future of Kara Zor-El and Millie Alcock in the DCU, rest assured, regardless of what happens with Supergirl, she's in Man of Tomorrow, and she's going to be a big part of whatever movie is coming after it, whether it's a Justice League movie, another Superman sequel, whatever the case is. So I think we should be okay. Like, that was reassuring if you're worried about the character, because if the movie underperforms, you're like, no more Supergirl. Well, don't worry. She'll be on the big screen next summer, and then probably the summer after that too. So
yeah,
that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So Millie won't have to go back to that bakery. But
it's a nice summer job. Why not?
But next up, a little bit of projection stuff.
We just said the exact opposite, just some geeky guy.
Toy Story 5 with near 90 million second frame will have more friends than Supergirl at weekend box office, which we all knew was going to happen. It's unfortunate,
Gosh,
but the
they
reality
are
we have to
really
live
going
in.
with that.
Remember, I did the
really-
back of the napkin math, and this is exactly what it was: 90 million for Toy Story 5, and that means Supergirl is going to be number 2 at the box office in its opening weekend. It's not ideal, but
And
it's
then
also
Jackass comes out.
well, that's going to make
Yeah.
like 10 million something. That was the prediction for that. So yeah, Supergirl, they're looking at 40 to 50 million.
That's
yeah,
where.
there you go.
Yep, best and last. Thank God, last.
Yeah, it's a weird headline. But yeah, it does look like, yeah, Supergirl is gonna currently is tracking for 150 million. Could it overdo that number? That's very possible, but I don't know. We're gonna see like what the audience reactions are, because right now the cinema score isn't up yet, but in a few days time, by Friday, we will have it. That cinema score is gonna give us an indication of how much the audiences are liking it, if they're going to see it multiple times, and that will affect whether the movie overperforms this prediction or underperforms it. James Gunn's contract, as well as Peter Safran's and Casey Bloys, the HBO person's contract, those are all up around mid 2027. Actually, technically, probably before Man of Tomorrow comes out, and then I mean, they'll get a renewal if they do well before that. And I think right now the expectation would be that they would stick around. So don't worry, CC Black. But if the things do change, then that would be like middle of next year, or by spring 2027, we'll know whether they're sticking around or not. So, but I mean, Toy Story is a great movie. Liz called it like the second perfect movie of the year. So Toy Story does deserve all these props.
It's a perfect film.
Yeah. Let's keep
Dan,
going.
you have psychic napkins, apparently.
I mean, I know we did that notebook thing. We do it on the show once in a while. Yeah, psychic napkins sounds cool though.
But
maybe my cats are involved.
But in terms of
Ooh,
international
cat voodoo.
Supergirl pre-sales outside America don't look good, and it is tracking to a soft debut at the international box office. It's now heading to around at the most a 40 million debut overseas this coming weekend.
So that's just the overseas. Wow. Okay.
Which is a shame, but it's like if Superman didn't do well overseas, Supergirl is a hell, like especially with more countries that are kind of a little more racist,
sexist,
a little more sexist is what I meant. They're probably it's female led. So
yeah, so just to do the math on this, 27 to 39 abroad, 40 to 50 domestically. On the low end, that means this movie could make 67 million worldwide opening weekend. On the high end, you're looking at around 89 million worldwide. So either way, it's still below 100 million, which we thought it was possible, but it just looks like it's going to open to probably less than 100 million opening weekend, which is look, it's disappointing, yes, but look, if the movie has legs, hopefully, it will be able to make its money back and then some. So
I mean, if Superman wasn't going to do well overseas, Supergirl isn't. So sad, but that's the reality.
Yeah,
that's why we need Batman.
Batman.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, basically, this was the article where they were giving us like comparisons to like Fury of the Gods, like because Shazam: Fury of the Gods opened to 30 million. Aquaman and the Last Kingdom opened to 27.4. Birds of Prey opened to 81.2 million, which was like right before the pandemic, I think, right? The Marvels opened to 110 million.
I think Birds of Prey was during the pandemic.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I
But
think
these
it
are all,
was,
by the
yeah.
way, I think these are worldwide opening numbers too. So, I mean, certainly better than the 2023 DCEU movies. It's still going to be better than that, but it does look like it's coming in under what the Marvels did. So that again, look, CC Black might not be all entirely off the mark. 225 million total run at the box office worldwide. I feel like that's still on the low end. I hopefully, if the cinema score is good and there's good repeat business and people are going to see it and they like it and the Rotten Tomatoes like popcorn meter is high, 300 million. I still am willing to bet this movie gets to 300 million, especially if they let it play in movie theaters for a few months. Like, don't pull it after a month or like 35 days that they did for Superman. Like, they let it play, but they put it on streaming.
I don't see them playing it in theaters for very long, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I feel like the only way it gets to 300 million with this kind of a start is if it's in theaters for like 3-4 months before it gets to streaming, which will be interesting to see how that works. Hey, now Georgie wants to step on the laptop. No, Georgie. Okay, let's keep going, John.
Well, that's it for the, Supergirl side. Obviously, we have more stuff. I think that's like DC quick hits after this.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have any more questions, send them along. We'll try to get to them as the show goes on. But of course, we have spent like the first 90 plus minutes.
90 minutes.
Yeah. CC Black will take that bet. Oh, CC Black, I'm not gonna.
Not doing another bet with you,
trap.
motherfucker. All right, we're not doing.
I just
that.
don't do bets like that. I was saying if I were to bet, that's an if. So yeah, but all right. Well, we'll I'm sure be touching upon Supergirl the rest of the week. But until then, let's do the quickest, John. Let's get to the Parrots, Pelicans, and Ducks of DC news.
But after the greatness of Nightfall, we had to, get this. I will say the trailer.
Did you watch it? It looked fun.
I did watch the trailer. I thought it was a good trailer. I still have very low expectations. You guys can, maybe check out those old videos, but I did not care for Batman Caped Crusader season 1. I thought it barely felt like Batman. I thought it was very poorly written. I thought the animation was terrible. Overall, not very good. But I'm hoping that Caped Crusader season 2 is better. I'm praying it's better. I like the Riddler. Apparently, he's being played by Dave Franco, which is definitely like a very interesting.
That is interesting. I didn't know that was.
Him. You have the Joker in there, of course. You have they gender swapped another villain for no fucking reason with Mad Hatter, and I'm like, why? It just makes no fucking sense to me. And then there's a couple other like interesting things. I think Harley Quinn comes back. So, it's an interesting vibe. Like, I like the idea of it. I just think it's just like Bruce Timm, when he doesn't have Paul Dini or Dwayne McDuffie, he's just not good. Sorry. So people need to stop pretending that Bruce Timm is great by himself. But I'm still going to watch it, obviously, mainly for the channel, but I have very, very low expectations.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I thought it was better than the season 1 stuff. So it's an improvement, and we'll see what it turns into when the show actually comes out on Amazon Prime. So yeah, one of the things from Annecy today.
But apparently Batman Nightfall star accidentally, I don't know.
Did you see this?
Accident.
Okay, we have the
first
photo,
look
right?
at Break the Bat. Unfortunately,
there's no way this was an accident. Absolutely not.
So our boy
here.
Michael Mando.
Where's Bane in the chat? Where's
Bane? Bane will break you. Where are you, buddy?
John, can you zoom into the image? Because I feel like we need to be able to like show, because it's right there in the confidence monitor that he's got. You have to open it in like a new tab and then zoom into it.
Yeah. We'll zoom into this.
Right there.
Enhance. Yeah, dude.
There's Bane breaking the bat. Yep.
I mean,
in his ADR session.
Yeah, dude knew what he was doing. Let's just put it there.
Yeah, there's no way this was a coincidence. But was it? Wait, Nightfall is streaming or theater first release?
No, it's straight to streaming.
It's streaming. Okay, yeah, there you go. HBO Max. You'll see it on HBO.
But I'm
Max.
so excited for Michael Mando as Bane. That's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Well, there you go. That's
Nacho baby. Yeah. Let's go.
I was born in the dark, molded by it.
And then Boss Logic, the GOAT.
Hilarious.
Did a Lara Fleas inspired
so good.
Orange Lantern poster with as Lara Fleas, which is fucking hilarious, but also kind of works.
Only one precious ring, John. My precious lantern ring. There you go. Love to see it. Love to see it. This is funny. There's plenty of orange here. If you want to do orange lanterns, maybe.
Yeah.
But
then apparently, according to the Today Show, Supergirl star Millie Alcock applied to work at a bakery after season 1 of House of the Dragon because she thought she'd never work again. And now you're gonna be in the next 3 fucking DC projects. So
yeah. She was like, I had to tell them no because I got cast in Supergirl, and then, she cameoed in Superman, is in Man of Tomorrow, and apparently the movie after that too. So I think Millie Alcock is doing just fine for herself. I will say we didn't talk a lot about this. I thought there was a really cool dynamic that developed between Eve Ridley's character, like between Ruthie and Kara in the movie. Like, I thought that was, like, as the movie went along, I think it was this whole idea of like Supergirl clearly is like I don't want to be in a mentor role. I'm so fucked up myself, but it was an imperfect relationship, but I thought that it developed really well as the movie went on, and I like where they left it off towards the end. So I would like to see that be explored more down the road. And I kind of see, because it's also like, they'll age into their roles as they grow themselves, because like Millie is not that far off the age that she plays in the movie, and the same goes for Eve Ridley. So yeah, I'd love to see them continue in these roles.
She applied for a London bakery. That's definitely...
Yeah. Probably a fancy London bakery, let's be honest. It's probably not like a mom and pop shop.
Hey,
maybe
if fucking Millie Alcock was working at that bakery, I'd go to that bakery every damn day.
Hell yeah, she's got good taste.
Hey, M2G just got home from watching the movie. The ending was awesome. We can't get into the spoilers, but boy, it's gonna be fun to talk about the ending when we do.
Glad you liked it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That ending was fun. That ending was fun.
That's it for DCU.
It didn't have Henry Cavill screaming, but that ending was fun for Supergirl. No! This guttural scream.
Yeah.
And you know what, John? Since I forgot to hit the news intro earlier, I did not hit the news intro earlier. What are you guys talking about? We're going to talk to Ryan Gosling for a second.
We have to
and then
convert
we'll be back
everything
with the
to
news.
purple again, so
yeah,
that's why we got to play the news.
It gives us a minute to switch things over.
But
so
who doesn't like Ryan Gosling,
enough. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that.
You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous. Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
I think the foreskin kind of peels off if you try. I'm trying to find chinks in the armor here.
Why would you ever want to peel it off?
I don't know. I'm just gonna put it away. It's just very
put it
compelling for some
away,
reason.
Dan. Gosh, put it away.
Okay, let's get into the news. We got some MCU weekly stuff to talk about. Do we have box office stuff today? We don't have box office stuff today.
I mean, we kind of did in the choice earlier.
Yeah. But hey, let's talk about the MCU, because Liz, of course, I know you're excited about this. There's some big stuff. Are you? I don't know. There's some big stuff happening in the world of the Avengers, Liz, because apparently Avengers Endgame's re-release got a new title. John, you want to walk us through?
I guess
this
I'll be seeing it for the 11th time in theaters. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's. Thank you, John. That's exactly what I said. Of course, that's exactly what I said.
According to the trade, Avengers Endgame Encore will include a custom introduction, additional new footage, and a special end tag exclusive to Infinity Vision and IMAX releases. Oh boy, I can't wait for Infinity Vision to mean absolutely fucking nothing, and it's just a fancy name on an already made movie. Because we don't have IMAX, and Kevin Feige cried about it.
Let's go.
They did say so currently they're pitching all this stuff to the theater distributors in Europe and Cine Europe, which we'll talk about later. And over 7,500 theaters have already applied for the certification, which the standards they have to meet is a minimum 45-foot wide, immersive sound system like Dolby Atmos or 7.1 surround sound, which most movie theaters have. Brightness levels that reach 14-foot Lamberts in 2D and 6-foot Lamberts in 3D, because 3D, the way that works, it's usually not as bright of an image. I saw Supergirl in 3D, for example. It was not as good as it looked in 2D. But Infinity Vision is gonna be a thing. Cool. But What do you think the custom introduction is probably just like actors talking to you, like or Russo brothers talking to you.
Like, hey,
but
buddy,
like, what is this new
thanks
footage?
for coming to the movie. Thanks for
'cause,
giving
like,
us more of your precious dollars in this god-awful economy. Thanks,
I mean,
buddy.
Liz, I know that you're gonna
You are
go see
welcome.
it more so than
You're
anybody
damn
else here.
right I will.
So
You are damn right I will.
like, do you care to speculate like what that end tag has to be connecting to Doomsday, right? And then also like, what is the new footage? Is it deleted footage, or is it stuff
I don't know,
they're
I don't
shot
care.
now?
It's probably deleted footage. I would assume I'm assuming it's
Yeah.
stuff that they had shot and they had just edited out because it was already 3 hours. I don't give it. Make it 5 hours. I'll be there. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
To be fair, Avengers Endgame did not have an end credit scene because it was like everybody signed off and like the
It was
credits
just
rolled
the
and that was
Thor.
it.
It was just Thor's
So-
hammer little chunk. So yeah, bring it on, baby. I can't wait.
So that will be interesting how they do that. All right. So and they also what are they calling it? They're not calling. It's not just Avengers Endgame, John. Or no, sorry, it's not Avengers Endgame. They're calling it something else. If you go to the Deadline article, I think that's where they have it. They have a new title for this. So when you go to see Avengers Endgame, which you can get your tickets at infinityvisiontickets.com when they come out, it's going to be called.
We already said that. It's Avengers Endgame Encore. That's...
Encore. Yeah. Okay. So technically, it's going to be its own movie, I guess, because it's going to have a different runtime.
But it's going to add to the box office of the first Avengers Endgame, so they could try to get it up above one of the Avatar movies until the next Avatar re-release.
Next Avatar movie comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't
well, let's see how that works out.
It's gonna work out great for me.
Can't wait. And you know what else is going to work out great for us? Because John is still catching up. Liz, I think you are caught up. But Daredevil Born Again Season 3, just when you thought all the Defenders characters were back, turns out there was one that they had left out until now. And John, if you are able to swing over to the photos while I have this up here. Actually, before we get to that, there was some Daredevil stuff. What is this? Daredevil special reprint stuff? Whatever. Do we care about that?
Really
I don't know if we care about
really
that.
not relevant.
I think that's
it's
cool.
Do we care about
It's
that?
cool.
Good.
Look at that. Look how
I like
cool
those.
that
Okay.
looks.
Like, okay.
And
The whole
it's
season.
tied
I like
to Born Again. God damn it.
Nice.
Very
Okay, special
cool.
comic covers. Cool. Go get that stuff if you guys
Yay.
want.
Nice.
But what we really want to talk about is, of course, there's a video in this article if you want to play that, because obviously people are trying to, snoop in as much as they can.
There
on the
she
set.
is.
She hinted at it for
Very
a while.
nice.
And Elodie Young finally, after kind of denying it and saying, well, we'll see, she was on set this week, today, or the weekend. She was filming Daredevil Born Again Season 3, John. We have the photos. And she's back. She's back, and the costume looks a little different. It looks upgraded. I don't know if you want to call it upgraded or not, John, but Liz, your thoughts? Elodie Young's Elektra is back.
I really don't care, to be fair. She really didn't do it for me in the first go around.
She finally has the headband, guys. There you go.
Yeah,
I will say the
I enjoyed.
The costume looks
The costume's all right. I mean, listen, I did enjoy the second season. I'm looking forward to the third. I loved the Defenders. I love all of those characters individually, and them coming together is always great. So I'm here for it. It's nice to see the next iteration. So cool, but yeah, she's not one of my favorites. So I could really not be bothered whether or not if she's back or not. Okay.
I was gonna say though, because of these photos coming out, and obviously she's now officially returning. Great costume, looks like an upgrade. They're trying to go more comic, accurate. There was a theory going around because of how this ties into Spider-Man: Brand New Day. By the way, we did also have we do also have Kingpin. Let me get to that real quick. There's Kingpin, bloody white suit and all. But going back to Elodie Young, I mean, I think she plays a pretty good Elektra.
I think this means there's going to be more drama between Matt and Karen, of course, because as we know at the end of season 2, they are 100% together. We have shipped them. They are 100% committed to one another. They love each other. They're together. Now she's going to come back into the fold. Matt has a soft spot for her because they share a similar background. So that's going to cause some drama. But whatever. I still say that Foggy's going to come back from the dead. That's the hill I'm going to continue to die on. So anybody else that they add, okay, great. But I still say that he's coming back. We'll see.
I mean, it's
Well,
pretty
the
well
other-
noted
but-
that season 2 is the weakest of the Netflix seasons. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the big theory going around the internet this weekend and the last couple of days is because she's back in this world now, the Hand is in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And of course, Elektra is associated with the Hand, has been in the comics and in the shows too. So the idea would be because spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, but by the end of season 2, Daredevil Matt Murdock is in prison. And we see Spider-Man fighting the Hand in prison. The theory seems to be that Elektra sent the Hand to free Matt Murdock from prison, but Spider-Man gets the idea that maybe they're there to kill Matt Murdock, or for whatever reason they're just not on the same page. Like something there is a disconnect. Maybe the Hand is working for the DODC, whatever the case might be. But like, I mean, the costume here she's got in live action does look closer to like that Daredevil crossover costume in the comics. There's some similarities there.
And,
so maybe
Matt
she takes
Murdock
over
has made
for Daredevil.
appearances in Spider-Man as well, so
Yeah.
a crossover would not be a surprise to anybody.
Like, do you guys think the Hand being in Spider-Man Brand New Day will have a connection to Elektra? Like, this is all connected, her return
I mean, it
in
makes
Daredevil
sense.
season 3?
It does make sense for sure.
Okay. Like, John, do you care to speculate? Any theories that you want to add into
Do you
that?
care at all?
I'll care whenever I get caught up on this shit.
Okay. Well, look, it's basically people are saying that this is how they're going to tie it all together with Spider-Man Brand New Day, the Hand, and Elektra. Like, it's not a coincidence that these are all going to be, featured in back-to-back projects. So we'll see. But we move on from all the Elektra stuff to X-Men 97, because X-Men 97 just actually announced all episode titles for the upcoming season. And not only did they give us episodic titles, but they also gave us brief synopses for all episodes in season 2. Let's go through that real quick.
Bitch. Yes, son.
Because it's very much giving away the fact that Apocalypse is going to be a big part of the season. Days of Past Future, A Force to be Reckoned With, Rise of Apocalypse, Part 1, Rise of Apocalypse, Part 2, Weapon X, Lies in DVDs. That sounds interesting. Danger.exe.
Sex, lies, and videotape. Weapon X, lies, and DVDs. Very stupid title, but
Strangeland, Savage Heart, The Dead Man's Hand, Survival of the Fittest. Okay, John, if you scroll down further here, we do have the synopses, if you want to walk us through those real quick, because Liz, I think you were probably excited to see these. They kind of gave us an idea of what these episodes.
No, I didn't read them. I don't want spoilers, bro. So no.
They're not spoilers. They're literally just log lines for the fucking episodes.
I don't want it. No, I don't want it.
So for the first episode, Forge and Bishop launch an ambitious plan to rescue the X-Men who have been scattered through time.
That's a spoiler.
After D-Day, a
secret.
Okay. All right, then. Bye.
The Rise of Apocalypse sounds
paramilitary force emerges to try to fill the void left by the X-Men. The plan to rescue the team from ancient Egypt is turned upside down by an unexpected visit. An alliance between X-Men and Sabanur begins to crumble when Rama Tut seeks supreme power. Wolverine, Morph, and an unlikely group of former rivals face the latest Weapon X experiment. The X-Man Polaris returns to Xavier's mansion just as the new threat emerges on campus. The X-Men travel to the Savage Land and are surprised to encounter a familiar face. The X-Men confront a ghost from their past. The X-Men are pushed to the limit when their past comes back to haunt them. So, yeah.
Those two look very generic. But that's exciting. Okay. All right. If you
gotta be generic. You gotta be generic because of, their season finale. So,
Yeah, true. Well, hey, interesting stuff. I'm sure this gets a lot of people excited for the new season. Liz, you're excited. So, we'll see how it all plays out. Season 2 of X-Men 97.
So good.
Yeah.
So
sounds better than this first season, honestly. It does. Like these sound more promising.
First of all, first season was great. So.
All right, okay, if you say so. But we have a few more Marvel things to get through. We have Spider-Man Brand New Day to talk about, of course. They're doing their promotional rounds.
Yes.
John, we have some video that connects to what we were talking about just a day ago. Tom Holland was on the Berlin red carpet talking about how they've still very much kept the villain of the movie a secret, which we were kind of talking about in detail. Liz, do you know who the villain of this movie is? Have you figured it out yet? Based on the trailers?
Scorpion. I heard it was Scorpion. That's all I heard.
Well, that's
apparently He's like one of the supporting antagonists. He's not really like the villain of the movie.
Yeah. So no.
So,
but again, I'm also not looking for spoilers. So
I think Tom Holland has got it right then. I think we're very much a secret. So yeah, this is from, and then yeah.
I bet you Tom Holland doesn't know. Quite frankly, I bet you Tom Holland has no idea who the villain is, because they know.
Well, that's why he keeps saying it. Like, oh yeah, it's a secret.
Yeah,
they didn't tell
promise
him.
you they haven't told him either. Especially because half the stuff it's green screen, whatever. He probably never came face to face with the villain.
Well, no, apparently they shot a lot of it on location. Anyway, but Tom Holland's, I keep wanting to say Tom Cruise. Tom Holland's favorite Spider-Man villain is Doc Ock, especially after working with Alfred Molina. I do not blame him. It was kind of funny watching this because like they asked Zendaya first, and she thinks about it, then she's like, huh. And then she like eventually passes it off to Tom Holland. He's like, oh yeah, like Doc Ock was fun to work with, all those guys in like the last movie. Like, okay, I don't think Zendaya cares about this stuff as much as Tom Holland probably does. Like the comic book stuff.
Why would she? Why would she?
Yeah, why would she care about like one of the biggest fucking superheroes in the world that?
But she's
married
not
to IRL.
But that's not her. That's his role. He's face to face with those villains more than she is. So it would make sense that he would have an opinion.
Like, be endearing.
Yeah,
she's got her own stuff to talk about.
Let's keep going though, because we got more.
How you doing?
That's true. Right. There was didn't the Dune trailer play in front of?
So the only trailers I got were pretty much all WB productions. It was Dune, Clayface, the fucking 3-minute Tom Cruise tribute that ended in a 5-second Digger trailer, which I'm excited for. And then Practical Magic 2, which I missed most of because there was fun fact about
so I didn't get Clayface. I only got Practical Magic 2 and the Digger. That's all I got.
I got Dune and Digger.
My showing started like 10 minutes before either of y'all. So all I got.
So when I was getting this, they were literally putting them out onto the shelf. So I'm like, my dad's like, when he gave the okay, I'm like, okay, just grab one. I'm like, all right, bet. So I grabbed one. And then, so when I brought it to the counter, they're like, yeah, oh shit. Sorry, we don't have the price for these in the system yet. So, hang on a sec. So they had to like go and grab a manager and like 10 sheets of paper to find like the code to like input it into the system. So my dad's like, oh yeah, thanks for that. You had to get your fucking popcorn bucket. I'm like, all right, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you fucking smoke. Get the hell out of here. So, fun times, but I thought that was a funny story, but nobody's laughing, so fuck my life, I guess. But Spider-Man Brand New Day featurette explores creation of Peter Parker's amazing new suit. Is it amazing? Is it spectacular? Is it the ultimate suit? When we decided that we were going to make Spider-Man Brand New Day, we said, what if we made a suit that was an homage to Tobey and Andrew's design, aka just making a fucking homemade suit and not using Senpai Stark's tech all the fucking time. You fucking, like, oh my god, we're being the character. Crazy. Because now my Peter Parker has met those guys, so we kind of create a Spider Child of all 3 costumes. Everything had to fit into the world of Peter Parker, and we went back to that dumpster diver kid who's retrofitting old tech, aka the fucking character that you changed for your universe that you're finally actually making the fucking character again. Crazy. When you make the character, it works. Could have fucking told you that one, dipshits. It gave a real purpose as to why the suit looks the way it does, embracing the folds and wrinkles, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. I'm glad that we're not dealing with the horrible fucking CGI crap that we got so much. Just like, oh
my god, okay, it's happening.
No rants at all. Anyway, apparently at Cine Europe, Sony has screened the first 18 minutes of the movie at the festival or whatever the fuck it is. So we don't have a full breakdown of what was shown, but we'll have some mild spoilers ahead. From what we can gather, the footage begins with Peter Parker. We already know the opening scene because that script got like posted, not like leaked. It was like, hey, this is posted in his apartment as he brings us up to speed with what's been going on in his life since the events of No Way Home. An extended montage of the wall crawler doing battle with various villains like Tarantula, Boomerang and Ramrod follows, but there's no sign or mention
Ramrod.
of Sadie Sink's mysterious character. That was never going to happen. Aside from that much discussed montage, it doesn't sound like anything particularly consequential goes down in the opening scenes of Brand New Day. Obviously, it's the first 20 minutes of the movie, but we'll be sure to update if we find out anything interesting to add. A supposed leaked image from the screening has been shared online, and we also have some photos from the recent press events attended by Holland and Zendaya. So,
Oh, actually, I think we have the image. Hold on. I think I have
where
it.
it's just, fucking himbo Peter Parker over here. Looking at the note that that he wrote to MJ but couldn't tell her because he wants to protect her and all that shit. So
yeah. Well, hello, Manos time.
Hey, Manos.
Yeah, not flawless, but I mean, we're good to hear that you got a chance to see it. Yep. Okay, awesome. Oops, what did I just do? All right, let's move on. Let's keep going. By the way, Cine Europe is like the European version of CinemaCon. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
So Sony had a presentation there. We'll get into it a little bit more. I think we have, we got to get to that. So let's do that now because we're done with the MCU Weekly. So moving past Spider-Man specifically, let's talk about some movie talk badness. Just a quick run through. So at Cine Europe, Sony's presentation started with 18 minutes of Spider-Man, the first 18 minutes. They talked about a bunch of other movies, and then they ended it with the first 18 minutes of Resident Evil. So not a lot of details, but we got some first looks. I mean, there were a bunch of other movies that they showcased as well. Because between Sony and Lionsgate, those are the two big studios that showcased. You got to look at Resident Evil. They actually gave us another look at the new Jumanji movie. So, which has already been filming. I think it's in post-production now. That's coming out, remember, this Christmas season. They did The Social Reckoning. So they got another look at that. There was a trailer for that. They showed more footage. And then we got another look at Clara and the Sun, which, John, we talked about the trailer the other day. Liz, have you seen the trailer for this movie?
I have not. Not yet. Oh, this
it looks
one,
very
yes.
interesting.
I've
Taika
seen...
Waititi? Yeah.
Yes.
I like the look of this movie, especially this is like Jojo Rabbit, but for like AI robot androids. It has that feel to it, like the sense of innocence that Jenna Ortega portrays in the movie, which I
yes, absolutely
is promising. So, yeah, and then I mean Amy Adams, of course, also just adding to a fantastic cast.
She looks great too.
Yeah, and then then the two Dakota remember that they have that movie coming out that takes place in like World War II, I think it is, the first time the Fanning sisters are together. Nightingale, I think it's called. So they showcase some of the Nightingale stuff as well. So yeah, Sony, a lot of movies. Then of course we got Insidious, the next Insidious movie. They gave us a look at that, which looks very creepy. And then Evil Dead Burn.
No.
They actually showcased Evil Dead Burn footage, John. So that was there. So if you
I think I have it up because it was like a tickets on sale thing. It got onto the internet like about 9 hours ago. So
yeah, and then they didn't have any real footage for the new movie. What's the name of the director? What's this guy's name? He did the Godzilla movies. Is it
Takashi Yamazaki? I think
Yamazaki. They showed some test footage of his upcoming Grand Gear film, which, Liz, I don't know if you know what Grand Gear is, but it sounds like a crossover between Pacific Rim and Godzilla -1, because it's basically giant robots fighting kaijus. Kind of like, it's basically Pacific Rim, but, this guy doing it, which sounds very interesting. It's with Universal Pictures, so they showcase some test footage for that. So
okay.
And then they also talked about Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't think they showcased any footage that wasn't seen at CinemaCons. It wasn't anything like too groundbreaking. And then Lionsgate went on and showcased more footage from the new Hunger Games. So we got more of that. And then from Sunrise and the Reaping, they showcased some footage from A Housemaid's Secret. They also had Sydney Sweeney and the director of the movie talking about the film. So I'm sure that was fun. We know, of course, in this sequel, Kristen Dunst is joining the cast. That's like the big addition. So there's that. And then we got a little bit of a look at the Blair Witch Project, which I don't think any of us really cares. They did give us a look at Kane. That looks a lot of fun.
Nice.
I can't wait, man. This is one of this movie better.
Hopefully,
do
it's better than Ballerina. Well, not saying
Like,
Ballerina
then-
was a bad movie, but
I just
come on.
This will be
Yeah,
fun. Like
agreed,
holy shit,
agreed.
Donnie
Like,
Yen, bro.
Donnie Yen, come
I
on,
need.
man.
I
Hell
fucking
yeah,
need to watch
brother.
the Ip Man movies because those are like pretty
They're
much
fun.
considered like.
I
some
get
of the best
clips for
modern
them all
action
the
movies of all
time. Like, you know, on Facebook, I get those clips. On YouTube, I get clips for like Suits these days for some reason. So it's
All
like,
I get is fucking young Sheldon. Like, what the? You're getting like the good shit. Like, I'm just getting like fucking like all the fucking Big Bang Theory and its spin-offs. Like, what's up with my fucking algorithm, bro? Like,
I don't know. You gotta like hit the not interested thing that they should let you do. But then they did showcase some footage from the upcoming John Rambo movie
the
with Noah
upcoming
Centineo,
shitty John Rambo movie that's gonna
the
suck.
prequel. I mean, I could kind of see like you saw his physique for like Street Fighter. I feel
Oh, I
like
have
he
nothing
can
against
get in
Noah
good shape
Centineo.
for
I think
that.
he proved himself
Yeah.
with Black Adam. Yes, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But you know, I think he's not just like cringy teen guy who's in
Yeah.
like
Yeah, agreed.
whatever the Kissing Booth or whatever the fuck those movies were that he was in. I
Well-
think he has proved himself. But
Yeah.
yes, Passion of
Yes,
the Christ
the-
2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yep.
And then
Mel Gibson talked about
but
that.
like I just don't like
Party
the
in the
idea of
desert.
a John Rambo prequel because it's just going to be a generic
Right.
Vietnam War movie, and also it has notorious predator James Franco in the movie, so that has entirely
I
put
did
me
not
off to
know that.
watching this movie. So
I did not know that. Oh wow.
yes,
Okay.
so I am
Well-
not gonna watch that.
From one to the other, Mel Gibson talked about his next Jesus Christ movie and
Yes,
showcased some footage
Resurrection
for
of
that.
the Christ,
Which, of course, Lionsgate picked up the Resurrection of the Christ. to
which, by the
distribute.
way, stars a Scandinavian as Jesus, and none of the Christians complained about it. So,
He looks
just
white.
saying, but that's
Caviezel's
not
not coming
accurate.
back?
They
Wait a
always
minute,
it's not-
complain
it's
when
not.
black people
It's
are
not
Helen of Troy. They
Caviezel?
don't complain
What?
when Scandinavians play Jesus Christ because he's white, so that's all that matters, right? Even though Jesus
Mel
wasn't
Gibson
white.
said Caviezel was the only person to play Jesus. This
Yeah.
is shocking.
Oh yeah, Paul Anthony Kelly is in The Housemaid's Secret. That is true. That is true, Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. I mean, clearly, like Kirsten Dunst, it's like priorities, everybody.
Yeah, dude.
Come on. And then, of course, they did talk about the upcoming Day Drinker
I thought you were
film.
going to say Johnny Depp was in the new Passion, and I was
No.
going to be like, hold
No.
the phone.
No, no, no.
Wait
So-
a minute.
So this is the first time since the Murder on the Orient Express that Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz are going to be in the same movie.
They
And
weren't in
Madeline
Murder on the
Klein.
Orient Express, though.
Yeah, they were. They were both like he's the guy who gets murdered, right? Johnny Depp, and then
Is
Penelope
he?
Cruz is-
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Penelope-
I didn't know
you see the-
that.
That
it's
is
the
correct.
it's the one with
Yes,
the
sir.
train, John, not the one with
No,
the
I know
boat.
Not the death-
motherfucker.
not the
I know
Murder on the
Murder on the
Nile.
fucking Orient Express. Don't talk down to me, you bitch. I didn't know he was the guy. I never saw the movie. I heard it was bad,
Okay.
so I never watched it. I didn't realize Johnny Depp was
Okay.
the one that got killed.
Right. Well,
So, okay.
there you go. The new one, Johnny Depp is the guy who gets killed, and Penelope Cruz. So that was because they remember they were on Stranger Tides, the Pirates movie back in the day.
Yes.
So they worked together before. Madeline Klein was in
Dan's
the
Mount Rushmore of pirate films.
yeah, of course. It was a hard choice. It was between that and then I
He's
forgot
like,
the other one.
do I go with
Hope
Penelope
better have been on
Cruz?
there.
Yeah, we're going with Penelope Cruz. It's like, and honestly, fair, Dan. Fair.
Come on, especially because she was talking and like she was doing the whole Latin accent thing throughout the movie.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Perfect.
come on.
Anyway.
Come on. And then
I'm
Madeline
sure
Klein
James Gunn loves
also in the
her
movie.
in that movie. So he has a type. He has a type.
He has a type. I mean, speaking of, Madeline Klein was in that second Knives Out film with Dave Bautista. She was like in that. What was it called?
What?
The one where they're
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion. So she's
I don't know. I
in this
forgot
as well.
most of that movie, so I don't know if she was
Yeah.
in it or not.
This is an actual image from the film, so that's what Johnny Depp will look like, Day Drinker.
Okay.
This is
yes,
actually,
I remember this
yeah.
image being posted a while back.
Yeah, so they showed some footage from the movie, and of course there's plenty more Penelope Cruz with Johnny Depp. So that was so far at Cine Europe everything that was going down. But from that, I think we should move on. Liz, I think you'll be interested in the next topic. I think John as well, because
Oh, will I?
we got a big update with the new 007 casting process. This is actually a really
Oh,
cool article.
I don't know that I'm going to be excited at all, actually.
So
she'll only be excited if like John Bernthal is the next 007.
No,
which
John
is
Bernthal
a
shouldn't be
horrible
Bond.
choice, but you know.
Should not be Bond.
Anyway.
You don't think so?
Anyway.
Liz, like a Bond with like a New York accent doesn't work for you?
Let me tell you something, Felix. Let me tell you something.
I would love to see him play a mafioso. I would love to see him play a mobster. Absolutely.
He was
fabulous.
for like a
00?
couple
No.
minutes in one of the Night at the Museum movies. He was like a 1920s
yeah.
gangster. Like,
yeah, I remember
like
that. Oh shit!
The only reason I know that
it was probably the
one. Second one.
The one Night at the Museum movie I didn't see. Okay.
The only reason I know that is because someone posted it in black and white as a joke, as like, hey, Punisher noir, like if they did like Spider Noir, but they did Punisher noir, and it was like young baby John Bernthal in this fucking. Well, he's not a baby, but he looks.
Dude, I kid you not, I completely forgot that. It was.
Yeah,
it's the one where
I saw the first two. I never saw the third one. So that's
was it Hank Azaria? Who was it? Who was the one he plays like the Egyptian god? He's like,
Hank
do not cross this.
Three of them.
You do not cross this line. This line here. I can't believe you just.
He was
crossed
just
this
in the
line.
third one. Rami Malek was.
Okay.
Rami Malek was also.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of somebody else, like the second.
Which again, Rami, I could see Rami Malek being a mafioso as well.
Yeah. No, it was Hank Azaria. He was in. He plays like the brother.
Right. I thought he was all of them, but no, he was just in the third one. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so this is the update about the James Bond franchise. So basically, they're moving past the initial casting process. So like Monique was saying in the chat, according to this report on Deadline, which was an exclusive that broke, producers and director Denis Villeneuve have now begun informing talent who have made the second round, the next round of auditions, which will occur later this summer. So they're thinking about like August probably. Denis Villeneuve has been calling talent directly, and while Deadline has not been able to confirm any names at this time, sources say the auditions are set to take place in August. Now, the other thing is, I mean, Amazon MGM didn't make any comment on this, which is perfectly fine. But as for how many actors will test in August, one source says that they expect producer to cast a wide net. With an exact number of actors is unknown, but some sources are saying 5 to 7, or it could also be in the teens. Like they might still be looking at like over 10, 11 people that they're trying to pick between. Now, general meetings have been going on for a while with the talent all the way back to when Amy Pascal and David Heyman initially got hired in spring of 2025. We know Nina Gold just signed on as a casting director in April. So she had been meeting for the past several weeks with lesser known names, Nina Gold was, to see if anybody else should be added to the list of prominent actors that are expected to get a call.
See, that's what I think it should be. I think it should be a complete unknown. I think we need to stop circling the fucking drain with this. I think it needs to be somebody that no one's ever seen before, nobody's ever heard of before. I mean, Daniel Craig, yes, he was a big star, but he wasn't
even
a
at the time.
huge
Daniel
name.
Craig wasn't that big.
Yeah, a lot of people were shocked by his casting. I think we need more of that. I think we need some new blood in
like
here.
I remember when we were talking about this a while ago, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, they were like, oh yeah, this theater actor was like maybe auditioned, and I'm like, that's like he had like 1-2 credits to his name, and both of them were like plays on the West End.
Like I keep hearing like Jacob Elordi being thrown around. I don't think Jacob Elordi would be a good Bond.
I don't think Jacob Elordi should be.
Yeah,
the only reason I would want to see Jacob Elordi is to piss off a friend of mine who hates Jacob Elordi with every fiber of her being. So that's the only reason I'd want to see it. But like outside of that, no. Plus he's Australian. Last time an Australian Bond happened, it didn't work out. So
yeah, I was gonna say, okay, so to your point, let's just quickly take a look, because in this article, I just want to kind of read off a little bit more because they tell us a little more about like where things are at. So they say that over the course of like the last week or so, Denis Villeneuve and the producers, Amy Pascal, David Heyman, have started making contact with the actors they are going to bring back in August. So that includes the names they dropped, actually, ironically enough, include Jacob Elordi, Callum Turner, and Harris Dickinson. I think that was the one you were talking about, John, who fit the prototype
Harris
of what
Dickinson.
they're looking for.
No.
So apparently it would be them, and then probably could be some lesser known folks that will be coming back for a second round of auditions. It does feel like we're still far away from having picked, the next Bond, but the timing certainly lines up because apparently the goal of the studio is they want to have their James Bond actor nailed down by the end of this year so they can start going to production on Bond next year. So That's the big update. Basically, they're doing a mixture of well-known talent and unknowns. They've already kind of, cut out a bunch of people. So whoever's getting the call back, they're going to be doing a second round of auditions in August, and with the goal of trying to get somebody nailed down for the end of the year. I don't know if they're going to do a lot of chemistry tests, like on-screen chemistry tests, because I don't know, Bond is not quite the same thing as like Superman and Lois when you need to like, or like, what they did with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart's characters for Lanterns. But it will be interesting to see, how it all plays out. But hey, at least we know that the timeline is by the end of the year we'll get hopefully an announcement, or maybe if they've picked one, they'll tell us early next year. So yeah. Leo Woodall would be nice, but he's a little too old for like what they're looking for. But good pick, Monique. And John is always a chaos agent. Of course he is. That's why we love John. So anyway, John, speaking of chaos, we do have to talk about, there was an update on the Warner Brothers Paramount merger. Apparently it's set to clear the European antitrust hurdles.
Great.
There are a few caveats. They do talk about a few caveats in deadline. Now the thing is,
David Ellison gets $4 billion instead of $4 trillion. Oh no, poor baby. Like what is it this time?
Okay, so the here's the key point is there are
Oh, Dan.
Hello?
I think Dan broke. Yeah. David Ellison, he's coming after him.
Yeah,
can't hear you, Peach.
Hello?
Don't know. The speculation was that David Ellison would.
Didn't even miss a beat. Still talking. I think it's just us, John.
Yep, there he goes. So considering I don't fucking care about this.
Same, thank you.
The rich get richer and the film industry gets worse. That's essentially what it's like. Oh, there's gonna be exceptions to how bad it's gonna get, but like, it's still gonna get bad because that's anyway. Yeah. I mean, long story short, the rich get richer and the film industry gets worse. That's all you can really say, Dan.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say the caveat, like, the whole thing was the caveat was David Ellison is willing to divest the kids and family entertainment stuff. So, like, they're willing to get rid of Nickelodeon and, like, the other kids stuff as maybe a concession to the EU, enforcer people, so for antitrust. I mean, the UK is also doing something similar where they're still investigating them, but it seems like they won't get away clean with the European regulators. So we'll see. I mean, the state AGs in the US are still trying to like set up that lawsuit. They haven't filed it yet, so we don't know where that's going to end up. But anyway, that's the update, though. It does look like they've passed the regulator stuff, but some caveats which you don't know yet, so we'll find out soon enough. But progress is being made on their part. Anyway. Hey, you guys saw the trailer for Practical Magic 2. I did not see that.
I saw the last
I've seen it multiple times at this
20 seconds because I missed most of it.
Well, what do you guys think about it?
I don't really care about Practical Magic, so
this is for you, forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. However, Devil Wears Prada 2 has jaded me for these new, I don't know, what were we calling them? Sequels, reunions, what have you, revisions, I don't know, but I hope it's enjoyable. Devil Wears Prada really let me the fuck down. So
yeah, that was the worst movie I saw this year until Passenger. So yeah, I didn't even know Practical Magic was a thing until Practical Magic 2 got greenlit, and we talked about it.
I think you were still very young when it came out. But it was a big.
So I fucking had to see Nicole Kidman twice tonight.
Sorry, buddy. But
I will say I don't want. Here's the thing. I don't want to hate Nicole Kidman. AMC has forced me to hate Nicole Kidman.
They have shoved her down our collective throats. Yes, we've all trauma bonded over seeing Nicole Kidman's face.
I don't know. People like her. Like they love. I
like her.
Intro.
I do like her. But anyway, so it looks like at some point in the film I think they go to Ireland. So hopefully it's just not the same cookie cutter bullshit that we got from Devil Wears Prada 2. So we'll see. But again. Two completely different movies, so I
millions though, so we're probably gonna get Devil Wears Prada 3.
Some people loved it. Again, what the fuck do I know? I'm just some little person over here. Anyway,
Devil Wears Prada 2 makes millions, but Supergirl is barely gonna scrape by because God hates us. So
Well, let's get to the quick hits and wrap this shit up, gang. It's bedtime. It's time to. I want to go home.
It's bedtime
I
for
go
Bonzo.
home.
As my dad.
It's I've been seated now for 7 hours.
Let's get to the quick hits, shall we, John? I mean, Sandra Bullock, though. I will watch Practical Magic.
I do like Sandra Bullock, but I don't
what's not
care
to like about
Sandra
Bullock?
Magic. I'm sorry, it's not my thing. Anyway, let's talk about bullshittery, guys, because here we have Rockstar being assholes. Because for the it's not as expensive as I thought it would be, but
it's not 120.
Is priced at $80, and then the Ultimate Edition is priced at $100. And another caveat is apparently the physical edition of the game is not physical because all it has is a download code and no disc.
Yep. That's a fucking ripoff. Why even do that? Like, why you gotta waste plastic?
Edition? That makes
like, there's
sense.
no reason.
That's not physical.
Yeah. All it is like the only thing, the reason they do that is because that way you can't resell the game and the original studio doesn't get, because basically the only way you can get the game is if you buy it from the store. So you can't resell it, and therefore
you will own nothing and be happy about it.
Yeah. It's and then exactly.
Well, I'm
like
gonna go back on play fucking Devil May Cry 3 on my PS2. Fuck this shit. Like I'm fuck these assholes. I swear to God, bro. Like, this is why. Oh, John, why are you being so hated against GTA 6? It's gonna be the biggest. Yeah, because of fucking dog shit like this. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking asshole bullshittery bullshit. Fuck you. Fuck you and your dog shit. Fuck you and your age verification. Get out of here. Anyway.
There are some. If you pre-order it, you do get a few extra things though, but that's
cool. I will happily pre-order Lego Batman. I ain't pre-ordering this garbage. Fuck you. You asshole bullshittery. Speaking of asshole bullshittery, Dutton Ranch apparently renewed for season 2. How these are going to be handled once Taylor Sheridan leaves, I don't know, but
that's a good question. But I mean, hey, this is like the de facto follow-up to the main Yellowstone show, so it's been doing well so far. But hey, we'll see how it goes. Season 2, the first season did really well with the ratings. So
yes, but you know what else is renewed? Invincible. It's getting renewed for season 6.
That was announced at Annecy, yeah.
So I've heard that the show is kind of on the rocks right now, but I'm eventually gonna catch up to it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
This I'm fucking excited about. Ghostbusters Night Shift.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's got a first look, concept art, logline, characters, and clip. Apparently, this is going to take place in between Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's going to take place in 1994. And it's going to be essentially a ragtag group of Ghostbusters, coming in and taking down a threat that the older Ghostbusters can't, do. Which kind of retcons some stuff in, with the continuity that they establish in Afterlife, but that's okay. I don't care. This looks
continuity,
awesome.
schmontinuity.
I think that's awesome. I'm happy. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So so the log line is New York City, 1994. 5 years after the Ghostbusters took the Statue of Liberty for a walk, a new wave of supernatural terror
the best New York City
hits the Big Apple, forcing a group of scrappy young New Yorkers, untrained, underappreciated, and kind of sort of responsible for the problem, to put on proton packs, face their fears, and bust some ghosts. So it definitely has an extreme Ghostbusters vibe to it. If you remember Extreme Ghostbusters. So good stuff.
Bust
like
ghosts.
It. Love it.
Let's
hit
bust
those likes, guys.
I mean, what? Anyway. But Zendaya rumored for lead Bull in Bourne reboot. No, thank you. Craig Gillespie.
Between that and The Fugitive.
Craig Gillespie in talks to direct Glenn Powell in legendary sci-fi thriller Homewreckers. I'd watch it.
Hey, Craig
J.J.
Gillespie,
Abrams
nice.
says he has seen some of Digger and has no doubt Tom Cruise is about to blow our collective mind. Cool, your movie still sucked. Robert Kirkman reveals why he's such an admirer of George R.R. Martin. He's way better at killing characters than me. Cool, but George R.R. Martin is still an asshole because he can't release those last 2 books and will eat himself to death before he does so. So frankly, George R.R. Martin can suck these nuts. Netflix sets 28-day theatrical window for Khan acquisition La Bola Negra. The only reason to watch this is for Penelope Cruz.
Okay, but hold on. This is significant because again, Netflix do giving another movie like a somewhat of a proper.
You know, they
theatrical
claim
one,
that
so-
they're not theatrical, but then they pull this shit. So
Yeah, it's kind of confusing.
what's the
but,
narrative, buddy?
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's looking mighty fine right there. Anyway, Zendaya and Robert Pattinson says the drama has crossed 130 million mark at the global box office, becoming A24's 4th highest grossing film of all time. Backrooms, Marty Supreme, Everything Ever All at Once remain as 1, 2, 3, and then Civil War is number 5. So good for them. I will eventually watch it during my November catch up. That's when I catch up on all the movies I haven't seen of the year. And yeah,
Zendaya's having one hell of a year between this,
Yeah.
Odyssey, Spider-Man, and then Dune. Like shit. Okay.
yeah. And then Robert Pattinson
I don't think anybody's
is
ever gonna have.
And she's married to Tom Holland.
And
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson's on a fucking generational run right now. He's going to be in Dune. He's going to be in prime time, which I'm super excited for.
He's going to be in the Odyssey as well.
The Odyssey as well. So yeah,
Batman
he's
Part 2
killing it.
coming up. Yes, sir.
And then this dog shit. Costing around $200 million. It has had pretty bad pre-sales for a while now, and
Yeah,
will open
Moana.
to 50 to
Yeah,
70
dude, because it
domestically for the
sucks.
Moana live-action remake. So there's hope, ladies and gents. There's hope that this will
I'm gonna
50 to
see
70
it, but
million.
just so I can hate watch it. I'm gonna hate
That's
watch
too.
it for sure.
How the hell did this movie cost them $200 million? I don't get
Because
it.
of The Rock.
Disney is a laundering scheme, Dan. When will
Because
you
of The
figure
Rock,
that out
dude.
now? Come on.
I don't 50 to 70 million. It's not gonna make his money
Because
back
of
if
The
it's
Rock.
it's whatever. It's
No,
Yeah,
it looks
and that
absolute
fucking
dog
god
shit.
awful dollar store wig they got in the
It looks
back with like
so
fucking
horrific.
piss and cum on it.
You know-
Jesus fucking Christ.
You know what they needed? They needed like twice the volume.
Anyway,
It checked
Civilian Traders will get an early start in NBC's fall rollout. I don't watch this, but Alan Cumming is always a win. So
So this
John,
is
I think
basically
you would enjoy it. The show is fucking great, dude.
I don't even know what it's
Yeah.
about.
it's a reality show. It's got a
just watch it.
format.
It's
I'm not a reality show.
They've
It's a
got like
competition
5
show.
other
Awesome.
country versions of it. Basically, this
Yeah,
is the
it's
first
so
time
fucking good.
So this is the first time the American version is gonna not feature celebrities. So that's what they're calling it. Civilian feels like a weird way to describe it, but basically it's normal people instead of like C-list celebrities from other reality shows and stuff. So, and they're moving it a little bit forward, so you'll get it a little earlier in the fall than originally expected. So hey, I know Liz is gonna love it. I know Fiona's gonna be watching it. So yeah,
Nice. Last bit. Michael
Thank
Rooker
Christ.
joins Dennis Quaid-led AMC's NASCAR drama Thunder Road.
Thunder
If I had a nickel
Road.
for every Michael Rooker NASCAR project, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happens.
Listen,
twice.
Michael Rooker is a beautiful man. I support
So you got
anything
Tom Cruise.
he does.
Yeah.
Anything he's a part
I
of,
hate
will be
Dennis
there.
Quaid, but
I
I,
also hate
do
Dennis
love
Quaid.
Michael Rooker. So
Michael Rooker, I'm telling you right now, if you ever get a chance to meet that man, take
I
it.
mean,
He's
Days
delightful.
of Thunder 2 has been greenlit, so maybe Michael Rooker will come back for that too. So
it's funny. Like this is also called Thunder Road. I'm like, are they trying to imply this is connected, or like at least get the rub? Because I'm sure that wasn't coincidental.
Yep.
But
anyway, that's it.
Speaking of rub, get the rub, everybody. Get the rub.
With its nice vein.
You guys, we're leaving.
Yeah.
We're done. We're out of here.
It's
time to go.
the foreskin.
Time-
See, it does
no,
feel like it.
it's
This
time
is
to go.
like the, it's like right here. It peels. It's
Is it attached? Like
it is
or can you
attached.
take it off?
Just like foreskin.
No, it's like glued on, attached. It's glued on. Guys.
Gotcha.
Nobody
Gotcha.
likes flappy foreskin.
Wait
If
for
you
what?
have guys, I will say, guys, if you have flappy foreskin, please go see a doctor. That is not.
And also, make sure you're cleaning. Be hygienic.
yeah, you get the schmegma. You got to get in with there. You know, it's
Scrub
just
your
like, make
knob,
sure you're
gang.
cleaning
All these
Scrub
veins.
your knob.
Very veiny.
We're gonna get
very
demonetized,
veiny.
guys. This is
All this foreskin. Again, the color is better IRL than it looks on camera.
Hey,
it's weird
they
how that
greenlit it.
works.
Who knows if that'll get made? But they did greenlight the movie. We did talk about that.
Yeah. Also, this should have been a matte design, not like reflective, because that would have made it
Yes.
look less foreskinny.
Yes.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. I like to say so.
Quite literally. Anyway, thanks,
And
guys.
we are not
for
kink
watching.
shaming. Each
That's
their
it
own.
for today. It's 1 in the morning.
Thank
I have a
God.
headache. Let's
Bye. Love y'all,
let's
but
We'll
bye.
see you guys tomorrow. On
we'll
DCU.
see you tomorrow. Ryan Gosling again. Have fun. Have a pleasant night.
3 times.
See you later.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number 2.
All right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding.
I can't open the envelope without
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that.
You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
And remember, fuck Tom King, fuck David Ellison, and fuck Jeff Snyder.